Hey!
Happy New Year!
Happy freaking New Year.
First stream of 2025.
First stream 2025.
New
First
year
stream
and new
campaign. What?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what we're doing here?
No.
Yep.
I gathered you here today to tell you that.
We're gonna play Jenga.
Yeah, we're sacrificing you. Get on the
Get on the table.
rock. Get on.
Chop chop.
Chop, chop.
No. So, yeah, we're doing new campaign with these lovely 5 people.
That's me.
Krista, you made that wonderful face where you went, ew, disgusting. New campaign? Gross.
I'm dying. Choking myself out over here.
So, yeah.
That's my only issue with those. They're great.
It's
but
not this, it's my shirt underneath.
A turtleneck.
A turtle? So, today we're going to be
Same
doing 0.5s basically all day.
It's
Not
even
really.
a one.
Not actually all day.
Nope.
But for a while. So to get everybody into the same spot, we're going to set the scene. We're going to get everybody ready. But it's going to start with Matt. So Matt.
That's me.
But everyone's going to fuck off after that. But
But we can introduce who we are as people.
yeah.
Yeah.
Who are
Even though
you?
you've been watching. My name's Matt. I'm at Game Master Matt. New year, new handle.
New year, new
Wow.
handle.
Master Matt.
Game Master
Hey, game time with Matt. Dead.
Forever.
He
Put
can't
him-
come to
Game
the-
Very-
master.
Put him down!
He went to the chop shop.
He went to the chop shop.
We took bits of him.
Bits and
The Matt
pieces.
part.
Wait,
Rebranded.
Yeah.
game
And
master.
the game part.
GMM.
Just change those middle bits.
Hi, Evan.
I'm Evan Stuff.
GMM.
I'm a professional Twitch mod for Gelatinous Noobs.
Facts,
Whoa.
facts.
Whoa.
You heard it here.
You've,
And Paragon's Odyssey. I'm there. She doesn't stream anymore. She fucking died.
I'm streaming tomorrow.
Okay. Be there for Paragon's Odyssey.
We do a lot at Gelatinous Noobs, okay?
Yeah, Gelatinous Noobs. Keep our OnlyFans.
We do not have an OnlyFans.
my friend.
Just only feed.
Kindergarten.
Gelatinous.
Boo.
I meant like last
You say that,
year,
that'd probably be
back
very
in the improv
popular.
Shop, and we've just we've hit it off, and we've been hanging out since. So thanks, Mike. I'm glad to be here.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Christy, do you have any things you want to say with your mouth?
Yeah, I'm streaming tomorrow. At Paragon's Odyssey. Give me a follow. My birthday's next week. Not next week. It's in.
She's turning 47 years old.
It's in 11 days.
11 days.
And I'm turning old. So if you could
Welcome to
follow
the
me,
party.
that'd be a great
Birthday
birthday
gift.
You
gift.
better follow her while she's still alive. Damn.
Yeah,
You make it sound like she has a terminal illness. She's
do.
just getting closer to 30.
I do. That's the terminal illness. 30.
I got it bad.
Oh, me too.
You're in the end stage.
I'm in the end game now.
I'm literally working on emotes as we speak, so they're still in progress, and so is the Discord. I have a list of stuff.
It's
that
coming.
I was gonna go over with people, but here we are.
It'll be emoteful, though.
I'm working on it. I'm also a professional mod here at Gelatinous Noobs, and I DM here sometimes. So I'm also a professional mod at Feral Froggy as well.
Wow.
Also died in 2024.
But I'm back.
Oh shit!
She's streamed since last time I have, so
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't have any plans to stream this weekend, but maybe I will. I am working on being the next Elden Lord.
Am I
So-
streaming that?
Ooh.
Oh, I gotta see. I gotta
Nice.
watch that shit. I love.
Immediately found your audience.
I
Yep,
love, I
yep,
love
yep.
watching new players at Elden Ring
Get
play.
destroyed?
Yeah, because when they go to the first boss and they go, "This just you can never do this. It's not gonna be possible."
not.
And then you
Game
just
fucking sucks.
go on Reddit and find the cheesiest ways to beat things. Then you beat them and you go,
Yeah. But I haven't beat the boss. I haven't even encountered the first boss. So join me in finding out.
It maybe he's friendly.
She's just
Yeah.
trying to make her person as pretty as possible.
Yeah,
"That's the fun part about the game, honestly."
I actually thought it was Dress to Impress when I downloaded it. I'm kind of shocked.
Let's be real. Video games are dress up.
There's so many like swords and knives and shit. It's kind of scary.
Who needs that?
Yeah.
But I guess they're pretty sick in like a deadly hot way.
They want her to look sharp.
Yeah. Ooh.
I
But-
can't wait till you meet Ronnie. I'll just leave that there.
Ronnie McDonnie. No,
Shy Ronnie.
I can be found at feral_froggy. I mod here. I mod a couple other Twitch places over Paragons, Icky McClicky, and
You're a mod for Icky.
I am a mod for Icky.
She's a mod for so many people.
and
It's kind of
Buzzy and
insane.
Buzzy and the dinosaur Discord.
Shout out to the dinosaur Discord.
Yeah, shout out to them because they got us to 80.
Thank you.
And I am gonna be a player in this new campaign,
Oh, I thought you were just. I was waiting to
And I'm
kick
going-
you out.
and I'm leaving. And who is this?
Hi, I'm Zach. You can find me here. I don't do anything else.
In Matt's basement.
Yep.
That's my guy.
He's also a professional mod here at Gelatinous Noobs.
Nah,
Zach
I don't
Attack.
claim that. No,
Zach
I have nothing
Attack?
to
That's
do
a
with
cool
these
name.
people. I claim this
That's my
chair.
guy.
Zach back. Zach attack.
I'm here in this chair.
In this chair. I will also be, I guess, playing in this campaign. Indoors, since I live in the basement.
It's true.
Yep, we don't let him leave.
That's off camera.
So yeah, we are going to be starting a new campaign. We have Thera. We have
Whatever yours is.
Azareth.
Azareth.
Azareth?
Damn it.
The one
Kill
you
him,
playing?
Act like you played in it for 2 years.
Kill him.
I knew it.
Kill him.
It was Az.
No, just figure out a way
Oh,
to
man.
mispronounce his
Oh
campaign
man,
name.
Batch's
Vile.
friends and family are gonna have a rough
No.
time.
That kid you have, Batch?
He's been dead.
Looks like he got a real
He's been
bad
dead.
case of the 30s.
Yikes.
Looks like he is no longer has a mom.
Well,
Womp womp.
womp womp.
Not as bad as it sounds.
We're starting
We're going to be
streaming new campaign,
right here, right now.
and then on usually the first
Yeah.
week.
Yes,
of the month.
so it's going to
First-
be the first week of the month.
first Tuesday,
Wednesday is going to be Era of Lost Hope. Then the the Tuesday following is going to be
That's
Well,
right.
wait, aren't we swapping that too?
We're gonna be swapping, yeah,
oh
in February.
in
So
February.
Tuesday, so in February, Tuesdays will now be the Theron Adventure, and Wednesdays will be Azarus Adventures in Azarus. We're looking forward to it. Just kind of worked out with some of our adult time scheduling and our jobs and whatnot. So we're very excited. 3 campaigns. You can look forward to 2 back-to-back sessions in the first week in the new era of Lost Hope. And
Look forward to the era of Lost Hope.
yes,
yeah, starting
We
off the month.
are.
Start off the month just
losing that hope.
losing that hope.
But maybe we'll find it.
But then the remaining will be our normal, just reversed. So Tuesdays will be Thera, and Wednesdays will be Azarus. The YouTube channel is going to get some videos coming soon with
We've
some
been
of
saying
the
that for a
lore.
while.
They're still coming. They're out there.
I
Those
actually,
videos are hard to catch. Okay,
we
They
have
get-
someone who's watching all of the Theron ones,
Mm-hmm.
so we'll have to get them hot off the press so they
Yeah.
can watch them.
I've been working on them. I'm trying to not just do them one at a time. I'm trying to dump like 10 of them.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do like I'm trying to get it.
Chapters.
I'm trying to get it all done and then just drop it all in like essentially longer videos, two or 3 longer videos,
Yeah.
and then have shorts with all the individual characters. So working on it. It's coming
Also,
together.
if anyone knows an animator, I'm trying to get some freaking scenes done. You know an animator?
Me,
You're an animator?
I'm working on it.
All right.
I was
believe
going to
in
talk to you guys
you.
after the stream about that, but yeah,
That's dope. Everyone's
Plan
got a
on
new
doing-
talent today.
plan on doing a lot of
New year, new Matt.
yeah.
Matt-
Game Master Matt.
Yeah, that's right.
We
Yeah.
Matt the
discussed.
animator, Evan the guitar player.
What's my
Not gonna claim
new
that yet.
skill?
You did just try DMing the other.
Yeah.
That's true.
And I'm never doing it again.
It went great. I don't know
It
what
did.
she's talking
It was a
about.
It
lot
did
of
actually
fun.
go really well.
It was awful.
Anyway, I was going to talk to you guys after stream, but that's for after, not
Way to
now,
ruin
because we
it.
are
Yes.
streaming.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yikes, sorry.
And we
It's
want to
okay.
get into it.
Well, if we want to get into it, I need you and you 3 to fuck off.
Okay.
All right, we can fuck off.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna watch all
Bye.
George, you can stay.
George is.
this. George is gonna come with us. 'Cause we're the-
Ciao, man.
George. George.
George, you want to come upstairs?
George.
Bye,
Don't betray me,
Krista.
George. No.
Let's go. Let's go upstairs.
And then there was me.
Well, hello, Matt.
Hello. God.
Yep. We're getting pretty intimate here. Yeah, I know, right? So, the Dawnblade, huh?
Yes.
All
that's
right.
me.
Are you getting into character? Getting ready?
I was born ready.
So, the Dawnblade. Your story begins. You stand in a open field, battlefield scorched with and bloodied. The air thick with the acrid smell of ash and death. Around you, the remnants of a great battle lie broken blades, shattered shields, and the lifeless bodies of comrades and foes alike. The white and ice fields of Drynock are painted in a red, crimson blood. Before you lies the massive, lifeless body of Croc Udalin, the Ashen Shroud, a silver, fire-breathing dragonborn and the feared leader of an opposing clan in the War of Teeth and Claw. His imposing frame seems smaller now in death, his silver scales dulled by blood and soot. You stand over his body, breathing heavily, your blade still glowing faintly with a golden light. The Dawnblade. That moment was supposed to feel like a triumph, a great victory for your comrades in this war effort, but as you gaze upon the Croc's lifeless eyes, a hollow emptiness gnaws inside of you. The field falls silent. The echoes of battle fade away as the bodies surrounding you turn to ash and blow in the wind, leaving you alone. You notice from above, in the darkness of the sky, 3 prominent stars, circling and moving towards you in a light, of which is almost unbearable as they spiral and head closer to you. You feel the warmth. As they sit no further than 50 feet away from you, they spin and dance and join together into a blinding figure of light. You attempt to shield your eyes by reaching your hand out, and you awake. On the back of a wagon, your outstretched arm no longer bearing that hand, but just a nub from where it once belonged. We're almost to Hafren. You awake back there?
Yeah, yes. I'm awake. I think I reach down to my side and look for a flask that I keep on me and take a early morning drink.
The bottles that are clanking around you remind you of that headache that just won't go away. I told you the roads were going to get rougher the closer we got to Hafren. So what brings you there?
What brings anyone anywhere these days? Just merely traveling friend.
Suppose that's true. Glad that the road to the south is relatively clear. I was heading out to the west. I was trying to get to the ocean, but damn trees are blocking the way. And you know the forest to the east. There's no way getting through that thing. 'Tis a Hafren it is. You see the gnome driving you, and an older gentleman, has a nice mutton chops and chin strap beard. You've been traveling with him for a couple weeks now. You,
Is he just like a coachman, somebody who transports people, or is he a friend?
he is a merchant, and you kind of just joined along with him.
Sure.
He's been heading to the coast, his annual ride to go get some fish and some food to bring back to Nekarota.
Well, friend, you keep pouring the drinks, and I'll sit alongside you for the ride, wherever you'd like to go.
So you're traveling all this way for what? Just to travel? You and that bum arm, don't think you're going to get far.
I think I like, he's more talking at me, and I'm just kind of like dissociating. I'm just kind of like looking off in the distance, and I'm just kind of thinking about what am I doing and trying to figure out what my life means now.
As you're traveling through the fields of Illumia, you're in the plain area. It's very flat. The grass is starting to wilt. We're sitting in the ending parts of the harvest, so a lot of the trees are starting to change color, and a lot of the grass and foliage is starting to kind of wither away as winter is about to begin. The fields feel very empty, and whether that's true, there is life in there, but you can only kind of notice the emptiness.
I think he's talking at me, asking what I'm going to do. I'm staring at these fields, and I go, there used to be farms here. Do you remember?
Of course I remember. There used to be farms just about all up this road. Now it's just barren.
I take a drink.
We got some more. At least some villages have been able to get some barley, corn. Not like how it used to be.
Nothing is.
It's a damn blight.
Tell me, friend, how long till we arrive?
Not long. I can smell fish and I can smell salt. Hafren can only be so far out.
Yes. Oh.
He lets you sit in your stumper. He starts to whistle a little tune. As the roads to Hafren come closer, the potholes and the more rocky terrain starts to set in. The ride becomes a lot more bumpy.
I think as this second half of this trip is going along, I think I'm just quietly focusing on myself and just trying to bring forth this magical hand to replace the hand that I've lost. I just keep trying to focus. I'm struggling with it a little bit, but I try to grab the flask and it's shaky. It's not very strong and stuff, and I have to quick use my other hand to catch it. And I think I dropped the bottle a little bit.
Yeah, it drops and some spills out onto the ground as you go to retrieve it. Mm-hmm. Your shakes never really stop. It's kind of this life that you've started to live, a life in the bottle, as you reminisce on the times once past and think of what used to be, what you used to be. Is it gone? Or is it somewhere still deep inside? The sound of seagulls starts to erupt as the stench of fish really hits your nose. Hafren is right over that hill. He pulls up to the center of town, and if you want to go get another drink, Sandman's Sleep is right over there. I'm going to go start packing up all this fish.
I think I stand and I turn to my gnomish friend. I give him a deep bow. Thank you for the ride, friend. I do believe this is where we part ways for now. Best of luck to you in these troubled days.
Yeah. Best of luck to you as well. He reaches out an arm to shake your hand, and he actually gets it right. He doesn't...
Yeah, goes for the right hand.
He goes for the right hand.
Took you long enough.
Yeah. Well, it was a pleasure traveling with you. I just hope you get yourself right.
Sure.
As he heads over towards the market, starts getting nets and barrels of fish parked into his cart as he kind of opens up the back part and just kind of throws some of the bottles that you had left onto the ground.
I think I take my flask and I tie it to my waistband, and I just start. I think I start walking towards the port. I think I just want to go look at the ocean for a moment.
Yeah, you go out and you look onto the ocean, and it seems relatively calm today. The glimmer of the encapsulating bubble that is keeping you on this wretched land, you can see the shimmer of it off into the distance. You can almost see it reflecting off of the ocean's light. Mm-hmm. It's calm, but can you roll me a perception?
17.
17. It may be a trick of an eye, but as you're staring off into the horizon, you think you see a ship. Maybe two. They're so far out there that it's kind of hard to tell. Maybe it's a mirage of the light, but interesting seeing something out into the waters further, as far out as that is. Mm-hmm. You have a couple of people over on the docks, some throwing nets in, trying to get some shiners, others fishing off. The hustle and bustle of the town, it's relatively jolly. There's a lot of people working in tandem, and as smelly as it is, everyone there seems to be happy. As happy as they can be.
I think it strikes me a little bit, just the general pleasant vibe of the place. And I think there's a little bit of Dundarian who is happy to see it, but it's a cautious excitement.
Very much so.
Seems odd. I just stammered to myself, just kind of walking through the streets.
Yeah. You come across the inn that he had spoken of before, the Sandman Sleeps. It's right on the right as you get off of the docks. It's basically right there. It used to be a spot where travelers who were coming this way could get off the ship and go, but now it finds itself as mostly just a place where people go and have a nice drink. Are you hesitant to enter in?
I think back to how low I had gotten and how bad things had gotten. I'm in a better place. Open the door. I think I pull my cloak over a little bit more just to firstly obscure my weapon, but then two, just to obscure my arm.
The instant you brush open the door, the sound of music hits your ear. Faint fiddles and tambourines and just some joyous music is playing on the inside as you see a couple of dwarves doing some fun jigs and other people kind of clinking their glasses together. You notice at the bar, the barkeep eyes you up, not in a malicious way, but in a almost like a recognizing way. You look at them and you don't know who they are. They don't seem familiar.
I think I go and I find, are there any adventurers or mercenaries or anybody who seems like they would be hiring people at a tavern? Normally I would go to the barkeep, but if I don't really feel like dealing with him right now, he's giving me this look of recognition. I don't know who he is, and I just don't have it in me to have that conversation.
So you're looking around, and I mean, you've been around mercenaries before. You've been around the working type. A lot of this seems like sailors, a lot of fishermen, humble folk, as you will. You do see a guy leaned up against the bar off like to the far right of the bar. He looks, I mean, he's the most armored in here. He would probably be your best shot on a mercenary type, but even then you're like, is that a mercenary or is that just
Are there
a
any merchants?
traveler?
Any?
In this inn? No.
No. Okay. I think seeing the boats, seeing that they're heading this way, I think I'll go and I'll find kind of a alcove, a little booth that's kind of tucked away in a corner, and I'll just sit there, and if there's an empty one, I'll grab it, and then I'll motion for a barmaid or bar gentleman grab a. I think I just have a coffee.
Coffee. Okay. Yeah, so you like raise your hand up, and the person that recognized you kind of is pretty quick to come over to you. The first person that you first saw. You see a human, older man, not in his about 40s, 50s. He comes over to you. He's got these small little spectacles on. Oh, yes, sir. I saw you would like a drink.
Yes, friend. Coffee, if you have some to spare. I put down a few coppers.
Yes, of course. Let me go get that for you.
Thank you.
He goes over and you see him pouring up a bin, coffee, hot piping, sets it on there. Apologies. I haven't had coffee beans here in a while, so my finest acorn coffee.
Oh, please, no need to waste your fine reserves on me. Standard coffee is fine.
Yeah. I'm sorry, my friend. I can't help but... Dundarian?
I'm gonna I want to give him a quizzical look and roll deception. It's 10.
10. Rolled an 11 on the die.
Don't think you've got me mistaken for someone else. So I kind of turn away from him a little bit. Just my head, just tilted away from him.
He's looking at your armor, and as beaten as it is, it still lays remnants to Jawick's army.
I'm going to roll insight. Does he seem to recognize me? Do I recognize him recognizing me? It's 5.
5. I think with you turning your head away, you
don't really pick up.
Aren't really looking at him.
Sure.
He's not going to touch you, but he does kind of attempt to put a hand on shoulder, and then he stops himself.
Just here for coffee, friend.
Yes. Do you mind? And he's gonna just sit at the table with you, and he's gonna look at you, and
if he sits down, then I'll meet his gaze.
I could tell you were the Dawnblade. He's saying this in hushed tones. I could tell you were the Dawnblade the instant you stepped into this. Your aura, as faded as it may be.
Those days are long gone.
Well, some might say the same for Illumia themselves.
I think they'd be right.
Now, friend, I know the days may seem long gone. Are you looking for work?
I am. What do you have to offer?
Well, you've been here. You know. There's jobs aplenty. There's a lot of people that need help.
Before he continues, I go, and for someone like me, and I open my cloak up, kind of show my stub of an arm before I close it.
Yes.
I'm not the swordsman I once was.
It's a shame. Well, there's several. I know that we've been having some issues with some bandits around the Oaklow Keep. There's slavers near the mines of Tauros.
Who else have you on this adventure?
As of right now, nobody. But we've been sending people out, and I'm surprised that you've made it down the road as safely as you did, because
It's the unlucky ones who survive. I mutter that to myself under my breath, trying to hide it from him. These jobs, which is the more dangerous?
probably the slavers. They
affect the people the most here.
they damn near took out all of the population of Moonrock. Those aquatic elves, they've just taken them. I had a couple of lads that were helping me with some of my ships and my fishing boats, and I haven't seen them in a long time.
If you're willing to hire someone like me, perhaps I could still be of service.
I hope.
I would like to roll an insight on the job.
Okay.
And I'm just trying to gather, does this seem like a suicide mission for a single person? 18.
For a single person,
Most likely.
likely.
I take the job.
You think
I
that
fully take the job. I don't even hesitate or need anything else. I will do it. I will do my best to rid the land as many slavers as I can.
I appreciate it. There's several things that I could have done around here, and maybe it'll make you feel better. Maybe it'll get you back to the warrior you once were.
I just shake my head. No. Please let's not speak of such things.
Yeah.
Please, that's anything else. I've secured work. You're now my employer. Let me enjoy my coffee in peace. I'll head out this afternoon to deal with whomever needs dealing with. Is there one in charge of these slavers?
There's some drow. I can't fully remember his name.
I pull out a little
Damon?
I pull out a little handbook, open it up with my hand, and then I attempt to use my mage hand to start holding it down as I write with my left. I'm not left-handed. The handwriting is very poor, but I'm focusing on making it better. Drow. Damon?
I believe so.
I put a question mark next to the name.
Last time anyone saw him, he had extremely flamboyant hair. It's like shaved on one side, very long, flowing over the top, bright white. It's kind of hard to miss.
Are there any survivors? Anybody who escaped a slaver attack or any matter?
We had somebody that escaped, but they weren't a survivor. They passed away shortly after.
Fair enough. I'll close the book and the mage hand will disappear.
I really do appreciate it, and enjoy your coffee.
Put it away, and I just sit and drink my coffee.
His wife comes over. She doesn't say a word to you. She just sets down a nice little wafer. It's bland, doesn't have much flavor, but
This is dog shit.
it's
I'm just kidding.
it's a kind of sign of kindness.
As she sets it and turns around, I thank you, madam.
Of course. You notice that as much as he was eyeballing you, nobody else in the bar seems to pay you any mind. They're all just kind of stuck in their own world. You sip your coffee, and time passes, and you see a young boy walk in to the inn. He seems relatively beat up. He walks over to a table and just kind of sits down, puts his head down.
Does he look like an urchin?
No, he's older. He's about 18, 19.
But does he seem like he's homeless or just like he just got into a scuffle?
Just got into a scuffle.
Sure.
As time passes and you're kind of staring out the window, you hear a huge crash. You hear like the waves in the ocean itself is like opening up. A lot of people in the bar, the music stops. Everybody in the bar kind of heads outside. Do you...
Yeah,
outside?
if it's that big of a commotion that's causing everybody to go out, I think naturally I would... I don't think I'd go fully outside, but I do think I'd go to a window to look out and see.
So yeah, you see, and it's kind of hard to see. You do see these large tidal waves crashing against the shore where once it was calm. And you hear this just huge crack and thud that sounds like trees or something just being completely torn apart. Mm-hmm. There's a commotion as several people start running out of the inn. Some people just go back to drinking. And over some time, about a minute passes as you're kind of taking in the scene. And the sea kind of goes back to being mellow. Mm-hmm. You do hear the door slam open. And somebody goes, "Are there any clerics? Is there anybody that could help?"
I think I step forward. I'm no healer, but I do have some knowledge of medicines. What is wrong?
Some people must have been on a suicide mission. Oh boy, it's rough. Come to me. Come with me.
Lead the way.
And you see the boy, he lifts his head and he goes as well.
Okay.
That's actually where we're going to end your point 5.
Good deal.
Well, hello, Evan.
Hello.
How are you?
Doing well.
Yeah, that's good. Are you ready to get into your point 555?
I'm ready. I don't exactly know who my character is yet. I'll have to that'll be a working definition, but yeah.
Hey, that's okay.
Yeah.
So, the bastard. Let's have your story start.
Jay Snow.
That is your name.
Jay Snow.
No, so the rest of the Luster garrison, the main fighting force, they had left and they are going to go spread the light, try to spread the words of Illumia and bring her presence back to her country.
Why didn't they send me? I'm ready.
Oh boy, you know why. You're not old enough yet.
What are you talking about? I'm a man. Man enough.
You can barely hold a sword.
It's not true.
Well,
You haven't seen me swing a sword.
sure.
Who am I talking to right now?
You are talking to, you're going to be talking to Brent, the dwarf, the old dwarf.
Oh. Come on, Brent. Take up arms. We'll fight now.
These old bones can't fight no more. That doesn't seem very fair.
Well, you can't tell me I can't fight if you yourself can't fight.
I could fight. That's the difference. You never have been able to yet.
I've got it in my blood.
And he's going to
I was meant for it.
look over at the picture of a caster.
That's what I'm saying. That's where I'm from. It's my destiny to take up arms. I'm not meant for trivial tasks and scrubbing the floors. I'm meant for more.
Well, if you think you're meant for more, then in due time, we'll get you trained.
I don't have time like you do, Brent. I don't have time like the other old folks around here do. I've got a shorter life. I really do.
Well, make the most of it then.
I would if you'd let me. And he sulks and goes back to doing whatever trivial task, probably mopping the floor.
Yeah, so you're mopping the floors, and you look over and you see Silas's office. Typically, he has it locked. I mean, he's been gone for a month, and you haven't tried, because why would you? He's always had it locked. But with this thought of perseverance and this thought of, like, I'm destined for more, let me try.
Brent, would you go fetch me another pail of fresh water?
Yeah, you're making me do the chores now. All right, fine.
You've got to pull your weight. Come on, Brent.
He stumbles over and starts to go get some water.
And while he does, I set down the mop and I kind of like peek my head into the office.
Yeah, you open the door and it's unlocked. You crack it open and you haven't seen the inside of Silas's office almost ever. It's kind of a mess, but it's really pretty. Silas has the only window in the entire foothills. It's kind of encased on the side of the mountain, or on the side of the bluff. You can see just a small window that peers off into the fields of the civilian forest. You cautiously, because a little
Snooping
around,
checking out into the hallway, making sure nobody's out here.
but you close the door behind you. You're looking around, and I mean, there's obviously just a lot of notes back and forth, talking from other cities, like, oh, thank you for the donations, thank you for protecting us from this, blah, 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 blah. But as you're scanning through, you see a note, and it says Kester on it. The name
from or to?
From. It's something that catches your eye because, well, he's been gone for years. Is this a new note? Is this an old note? You read it. Silas, the light is fading, my friend, but harness the hopes that remain. It may be the only thing that keeps this nation from falling apart. I've been traveling through Tofgar. They are wary of me. However, the glow that set upon their face when I told them who we are, what we stand for, it fortifies my beliefs. I know we can bring this nation, our God, back to light. It may be dim, but by Illumia, the light still shines. I'm going to make my way to the southern coast, and may her aura guide me. Meet me in Hafren, my friend, or meet me in the afterlife. The Kester. Hafren. So, you have always been in the northern region of Illumia. Now, Illumia is it's a continent. You've been up in the northern Elven area, the Riven area, as you will. You grew up on the outskirts of the civilian forest, which is this ginormous kind of mystical forest. It's very it's one of the most beautiful things that you've ever laid your eyes on. It's just a beautiful, beautiful forest. Anyway, you're on the outskirts of that, and you grew up in a small mill town, where your mom worked at an inn. The dude job. No.
Just thinking of small mill towns.
It is very Riften-like.
That's the one that strikes me.
But it is. Oh God, I should have had this prepared. I'm sorry to rip you out of the illusion.
The Illusimia.
It is Tevrin, which is very close to Riften. Tevrin. That's where your mother worked at the inn, and where you had left several years ago to go find your father.
I'll take the note and I'll fold it back up and I'll put it in my pocket and I'll just bow. Praise Lumia. Any other motivation I might have to poke around the office, or
you look around, and I mean, you see Silas's, like, an old mace of his. Nothing really else.
I pick up the mace and I try to swing it around, but I can very, very obviously it's far too heavy for me and not good, and I lose a little bit of confidence. I'd set it back down.
You open the door, you peek your head out, quickly close it. Nobody saw you. So, as the day continues and you do your chores, Hafren. Meet me in Hafren. Meet me in the afterlife. This is where I'm going to kind of throw it to you. Do you want to ask someone about Hafren, or do you want to just...
I assume Brent will come back with the water.
Yeah.
And I'll just be like mopping next to him and be like, Brent, I was in my studies. I was reading on Hafren. How far of a travel is that from here?
Hafren? What brings you to Hafren? The fish? It's not the women. It's definitely not the women.
No, it was just I was studying of it. What's the big city? Or is Hafren the city?
Hafren is Hafren used to be the main port. People from Styark would come to Illumia. They'd stop at Hafren.
Right, that's what I read about. Is there roads to Hafren? No. Is that?
It's a long trek. I would say it's honestly probably easier to cut through the forest. Oh boy, how long would that be? 50 days? 60 days?
Shit.
What's making you think of Hafren?
Like I said, I was just reading. I was studying, and it's been a while. I've never seen a coast before.
Well, you'll smell it before you see it, but it is pretty.
What's across the ocean?
Styark. Black Rock. Dryok. Tadani.
What's past those?
Who knows? The great unknown. Perhaps it loops back around and you're right back to Illumia.
Of course not. Blasphemy.
That would be silly, wouldn't it? You've been thinking a lot.
Brent, do you think we can bring Illumia back to its great, bright past, or no? Honestly, no, don't blow smoke up my ass.
Well, with Drexus Azeroth in charge, the security of, well, our soldiers, our nation as a whole, seems to be falling apart. He seems more hell-bent on control than he is on prosperity. It's always scary. Power is a scary thing.
Well, as long as we've got great men like Exter. What the fuck is his name?
Ekester?
Ekester.
Your dad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as we've got great men like my father out there, then the light shall still shine bright.
Right.
And give me 5 years and a sturdy sword.
5 years.
I promise you.
5 years is a long time, kid.
Not for you, it's not old man.
Well, I ain't got much time left.
How about this? 2.
2. We'll see. We'll see. As it becomes night and you get back in your cot, you just keep thinking. You think about time. You think about, well, how old's that note? If I wait 2 more years, is he gone? Has he already gone? How old's that note? Has he been gone for years? Where is he? Hafren. 60 days. It's a long shot, but you might be able to do it.
I start packing my stuff.
Yep.
Like secretly, like start putting together like a kit. I sneak back into the office, and I take the mace. And I put it. I try to swing it again. I shrug, and I put it with all of my kit. And I slowly walk around, and it's pretty late at this point. Yeah.
You snuck out at around 2 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
It doesn't seem like there's a peep.
I go and I grab some rations, and I make it out to like the front yard area, and I look back, and I'm just sitting there thinking to myself do I leave?
Before you fully even get to the door, I apologize to stop you.
No good.
You hear a slight crack of a chair and you see that old high elf, Rin. Never really gotten along with him. He's sitting there.
Just at the door.
Sitting in the main foyer, kind of looking at the door, and you only notice it because you open the door and you hear the crack, and almost with the crack of the door squeaking open, you hear the squeak of a rocking chair.
And I just like turn like,
off so soon.
I'll be back. You wouldn't get it, but destiny calls.
Destiny calls for all of us. May the light guide you.
As with you, you saw nothing.
What? So as you take a step, that's when you reflect, like, oh, Jesus, do I leave? I barely got here. When I was 13, I passed out from hunger. And luckily...
I've learned so much. I've got skills. I've got this mace. He like uncomfortably thinks of needing to swing it for self-defense. I've got magic. I've got spells. I've got natural talent. Better than anything. I've got hero's blood. And I've got a destiny. He turns, and he doesn't look back.
Wonderful.
Into the forest.
So you start heading through the forest. The light of Eritune, so slight astrology here. The moon of Illumia is named Eritune. It's this large halo-like moon with two twin moons, June and Lef, that kind of circle through and orbit through the main moon itself. Eritune is a very pale lavender with, as it gets closer to the core, is like a dark purple. It's almost like eye vessel, or vessels in an eye that kind of like grow deeper towards the center. And then Lif is just this pale green moon, and then June is this darker black moon. As they just kind of orbit through the sky, you see the pale lavender light coming through the canopy first night. So obviously we're not going to go through all 60 days.
Right.
But your first half of your journey is through the woods. It's very scenic. It's nice. Food's pretty easy to come by.
I grew up next to the woods, so
Yeah.
I know some basic trapping, and especially living at the monastery. Can I call it a monastery?
They just go by the garrison.
Living at the garrison, I would have been responsible, being one of the young ones, for like getting food.
Yeah.
So like, I think I would know how to hunt pretty well.
For sure.
I'm pretty improvisational. I'm pretty handy with plants and medicine, I'd say. Yeah, no, I'm very handy with medicine.
I think my
My
insight's pretty
animal
okay.
handling's decent. My survival's pretty good. Yeah.
Wonderful. So yeah, you're making your way through, and
God, my religion's +0. What the fuck did I do?
you were never focused on the religion part.
No, I wasn't. I want to be a hero.
So as you're traveling through, you get this stench you've haven't really been across, but it's pretty easy to correlate the stench. It's the stench of dried blood. You enter this opening in the forest, kind of like the eye of the storm almost, and you notice that you fell upon a battle. It's been over for a good amount of time. It seems as if a couple orc tribes must have gotten in some sort of tussle. Limbs and viscera kind of scatter across the ground, most of it being picked clean by animals. But as you kind of tiptoe through the carnage, you just take it all in. Really the first time you've been a part of death, been a part of...
He'd probably be like holding his nose, like gag and like just like look away if he sees something really visceral.
Yeah, you could see like a banner stuck into the ground, just a brown banner. don't know exactly what it is, but you see it there, drifting in the wind. You continue through the forest, and all's well. After 20, 30, 40 days, the journey's kind of getting to you. You're able to keep food and water and whatnot, but man, being on your feet all day, every day, starting to wear.
Missing out on good sleep.
Yep. But luckily, you haven't really encountered much. Can you roll me a perception?
6.
6. So as you're walking through this more brushied area, you hear a slight rustle.
As an action, you can detect good and evil, divine sense.
Okay.
Once I would have heard the slight rustle, I would have.
Yeah. It's hard to say whether it's good or evil. I'd say more good. As you break past the brush, you see a halfling. He's leaned up against a tree, arrow, bow on his side, and you see just red down his throat. Do you investigate?
Is he like alive?
It's hard to tell.
I'll go up and I'll go, hey, and I'll grab his shoulder and like shake him a little bit.
As you grab his shoulder, his head just falls slack. You do notice there's a blood trail. A trail that seemed like he dragged himself to this tree, but then another trail that kind of scurries off into this small brush.
Does he have pulse?
He does not.
No pulse? Okay, well. I'll follow the other trail just to, out of curiosity, just to see what might have gotten him.
Yeah.
I'll be like holding the mace though, like
Yep.
very.
So you're readying that mace. You push past some foliage, and you see a big red circle, a death circle, and you see laying at the end of it a Severian red wolf. It looks, its back is turned to you, but it looks like it has very shallow breathing. It looks like it got, you see the arrow pierced into its side, and you can tell that it did what a lot of wolves do when faced with death, and that is march until you can't march anymore, in which Wyatt walked in a circle over and over and over until it dropped. So you see it, and it looks like it's faintly breathing.
I can deduce that the halfling was attacked by the wolf, was attacked by the halfling. It was a scuffle between the two.
Yep.
With its shallow breathing and with experience with animals, he would just like slowly walk up to it. And I don't know why I don't have any weapons. What else would I have besides my mace?
You can add the mace, and I mean, if you want to have a dagger.
I want to have like a dagger that I can
Yeah.
use, because I would go up behind it and I would just like close my eyes and I would reach down and I would end it.
So as you're approaching the wolf, you're kind of preparing yourself to stab and grab its throat and just end it. And you hear a slight, and it makes you open your eye. The wolf wasn't breathing. It had a puppy nuzzling up against it, trying to wake it up.
Just one little puppy.
One little puppy. You see this red wolf, and they're native to this area. They're native to the forest. The mother itself is this dark burnt orange with trickles of brown and black down its back. They're smaller wolves. They're not the size of like standard wolves, or definitely not the size of dire wolves. They're more medium size, comparable to like a border collie, but obviously more, animalistic with it being a wolf. Really, you can tell that a halfling would really be the only humanoid that it could take out. The puppy looks up at you, and it's a really cute puppy. Its paws are way too big for its little body, and it's got a little white splotch in its fur. You've seen a lot of the red wolves. You haven't seen one with any white on it. This one just has a little white. It almost looks like a candle flame on its forehead. And it just kind of looks up to you, and it very weakly but very tries to be intimidating, and it musters up a growl.
I will do an animal handling check to try to reach out, like let him sniff me, and like try to show that I'm not a threat. And I will get a 12.
Cool. So yeah, you kind of make yourself smaller. You hand it your hand. It sniffs at it, and it's still going to kind of growl a little bit.
I'll reach for my pack and I'll have a little bit of dried meat that I have from my hunt, and I'll like try to like
It very weakly grabs it, but it grabs it.
and I'll kite it like away from the mother too. Like so it's like maybe 5-10 feet. So he's like stepped outside of the
Yeah,
the
he'll
range,
follow you.
'cause that dog's dead. Yeah.
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 The mother is dead.
Yeah.
So yeah, it looks up to you with tired growls and sadness behind its golden eyes, but you give it the treat and it starts to scuff it down like puppies do. You see a very faint wag in its tail as it kind of looks at you, and once the treat's gone, it just kind of looks back up to you and nuzzles around your leg.
Yep. I'll give it another little small treat, and I'll just say, "Come on, buddy, come on," and I'll just start walking and just like expectantly like hold out maybe another treat so it follows.
Yeah, so he follows by, and he kind of goes towards the food, and then he looks back over towards his mother, and he whines and takes a couple steps back, and then with you saying, "Buddy, come on," he turns back around and follows suit. So the days continue.
Pup has joined the party.
Pup has joined the party. The days continue, and you feel as if you're reaching the end of the forest. It's getting a lot less dense. It's more sporadic. It's kind of more similar to the forest in which you grew up next to. You know that you're not directly next to your hometown, but you're on the outskirts because you can tell when the forest gets thin. So you make your way out, and several more days pass. Your pup's tagging along with you, keeping you warmer at night, until finally you do hit a prairie. This is the furthest south that you have been. The days are getting a little bit colder because you started your journey in the beginning of harvest. We're about 50 days later, where it's starting to get a little cold. As you're wandering, you find a small road that seems like it's heading more southward. And you see a crumpled watchtower. As you continue down the road, you're getting closer to the tower. You notice two gentlemen kind of leaned up against it.
I need to read on these guys. I'm gonna throw insight out there just to look at how they're standing. It's a 6. How they're standing, like the equipment they're wearing, like hoods, daggers,
Are they bandits? With your 6, you see them and you're like, well, they're armed.
But who wouldn't be when they're traveling?
But who wouldn't be?
Right.
Maybe they're at an outpost. Maybe that's an outpost. Maybe they're guards. I don't know.
And I get a feeling that I'm getting closer to the city.
Yep.
I genuinely need somebody to point me in the right direction too. I've been looking for a person to be able to give me. So I think I would approach.
Okay.
And I would very I'd try to puff out my chest a little bit, appear pretty big, but I'd be like, hey, over there. How do you do?
Oh, well, hello. You see a human man, rugged. The other gentleman appears to be half orc. He seems big. He's a big burly guy. Hey, pal. You passing through?
Headed to Hafren. Could you maybe point me in the right direction?
Well, you see you're heading the right direction. Hafren's right down there.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
You got to pay the tax, though.
Oh. Well, of course. That everybody pays the tax?
Oh, of course you got to pay the tax. What do you got?
I don't have money. I came from the garrison. All I've got is the possessions in my pack, unfortunately.
Well,
I can maybe do some work for you, though. I mean, are you guys with the city?
no, we're with ourselves. You see, you got to pay the tax. I don't really want a job because this guy can do a job. So why don't you just hand something over?
Right. Of course.
And your dog, the pup starts to
Growl. He can sense some. He'll like rummage through his bag and be like, yeah, oh no, of course, yes.
Well, and the man is going to attempt to just grab your entire bag. If you want to roll a sleight of hand, a acrobatics, athletics, something along the lines that is due to move it out of the way.
Let me cook real quick.
Yeah, do your thing.
One reaction when you are hit by an attack roll or targeted.
I'll allow that you're targeted.
Can I cast shield? I'll clutch my thing and I'll cast shield, which makes an imperceptible barrier of magical force that protects me, which is just a flavorful way of saying I have a +5 to AC.
Flavor wise, he goes to grab it and he basically just punches a wall, and he's just like,
and I step back and I go, listen, I don't want any trouble.
Your dog goes in for a bite, not on you, but on him,
on like his little leg.
Yep, he bites down on the guy's ankle. He rolled pretty good, and the guy goes, oh damn dog, and he's gonna kick the dog, and your pup scurries.
At that point, he will use the opportunity of the kick and the dog being separated to turn around and bolt towards the dog, and he'll try to pick up the dog and just fucking run. He's just gonna run as fast as he can.
Okay. So yeah, as you're running, the orc is like about to take a step, and he goes, "It's not worth it." And the guy pulls out an arrow. As you're running,
+5 to AC.
What is your AC?
11 +5 right now.
16 meets it, beats it.
Oh shit!
Don't worry, it's not too crazy. But as you're running, you do get fairly far away. You're running, you're shielding the pup, and an arrow comes piercing through and hits your shoulder, dealing 8 points of damage.
That's actually a lot.
For how small you are, yeah. It hurts. You've never been stabbed, punched, anything. So this pain is new, but you have the adrenaline backing you. You have someone to look after. You have a purpose. So you sprint, sprint, sprint. He shoots one arrow. He doesn't shoot again.
Whatever. Fuck off.
And you make your way. The days, that arrow, you attempt to get it out, but it's kind of jammed in there. Mm-hmm. You can't really sleep too good. You're able to use a lot of your healing to at least keep it from getting infected, or healing it around there, but you're kind of figuring out how you're going to get it out. You start to get the smell of salt. So the ocean must be near. Mm. Night is falling upon you.
Brent's words of "you'll smell it before you see it" run through my head.
Mm-hmm. You haven't really seen too many travelers, and especially, with you getting closer to Hafren, you have seen more, but you've been a little weary of talking to people.
Anytime he sees people now, he just fucking goes off the path and just hides behind a tree.
So as a group is passing, it's about 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. There's one more group that's kind of wandering on the path on a horse-rid wagon, and you scurry off into the side of the road, and you see just a faint glow of a campfire, and you hear just a small. I mean, you're probably 30 feet away from this, but you hear a hum. Just a doesn't seem malicious. It doesn't seem like a spooky, scary, like kid humming. That's different. It's like a old man just kind of humming away.
Mm-hmm. Do I recognize the tune?
Roll a history.
Story. I don't roll good today with this character. Natural 20 for 22.
You hear this, and it seems like an old army march. You remember Jawik's army had some like battle song that they would all sing in their bars, and you've heard.
Yeah, because I grew up in a bar, so I would hear.
Yeah,
people singing this.
you've heard some people sing this song, so it's like, oh, for Illumia, I know this song, and you hear him just humming that tune.
And I will think, well, I'm super close to Hafren.
Close?
Well, in his head, he's like, I'm a few days out.
Yep.
There's a certain Lysander who's, getting close, and so he'll hesitantly approach, like try not to be seen, but like just to try to see who that is.
Yeah. So you see an old dwarf. He's got a really tangled gray beard and a mangly mop for hair. You just see him kind of. He's actually prepping a squirrel to cook. So he's like, he's ripping the fur off and getting it all ready to cook up. Roll me a stealth. 8. All right. You hear him stop humming. Hey, who goes there?
I'm sorry. Just passing through.
Ah. Well, a lonely road for one so young. Sit. Warm yourself.
I'm not going to pay the tax.
There is no tax. Oh, God. That arrow. Come here.
It's fine, really. I'll figure it out.
Trust me. I know the roads seem scary, but you have a friend with me.
He's gonna look at the dog. The dog growling at him?
No. He actually, the old man kind of takes a piece of raw squirrel, like a little leg piece, and he starts like gesturing it over towards the dog, and the dog comes over and...
The dog is just a bonus +2 to my insight.
Yeah, basically. And the dog takes it and nuzzles by the fire.
Okay.
There's colder things ahead of you than just the winds. Just come, sit down.
That song is for Illumia.
You know that tune?
Yes, I come from the garrison of Zenith.
Ah, the Luster garrison, sworn to the light.
Of course.
Seems fitting. You seem young to be part of a group so old.
Well, my father, you might know, Acaster Lysander. He's a legendary hero of Illumia.
Legendary hero. Yeah. Doesn't ring a bell, but it's a good name. Nice ring to it.
Well, anyway, I haven't really met him, but I went to the garrison to meet him, and I hear that he's in Hafren, so I'm traveling there to find him, so he can train me.
Well, you're close to Hafren at least.
Good.
I believe it's like, what, 3 more days? You've been on the road for a long time, boy.
I'm starting to lose count of the days.
Yeah. Have you had a hot meal lately?
When I can find game.
Well, I'm making a stew. Sit, warm your bones.
He sits.
The old man, he sitting there and is getting the stew ready.
Did you fight under Jawik?
did I fight under Jawik? I can't seem to remember. There's a lot of things I can't seem to remember.
You don't seem that old.
Looking at him, so you know dwarves live about 400 years. Jawik was in charge for about 175. He might not seem like he's knocking on death's door, but there's just a hollowness behind his eyes. He's tired. He's a mess. He hasn't really done much. It almost seems like he's been surviving out in the woods for 300, 400 years.
What's your journey? If not as a fighter.
For my journey? Well, right now it's feeding a young boy who seems to have found himself in a predicament. Who seems too stubborn to have me take that arrow out of his shoulder.
I've figured out. I'm trained medically. It's serrated and it hurts a lot.
Yeah, do you know how to get an arrow out? Here. You can do it, but let me show you. And he's going to, with the arrow, it's pierced almost all the way through. It's gonna hurt, so maybe bite down on something. And he's gonna push it through a little bit more, so it pulls all the way out, and then snap off the end, snaps it, and he pull it out. It just comes clean through.
And he pulls it out. He's just like flinching. He's just tense. And he immediately like reaches, and like a glow comes from his hand as he's like attempting to like seal the wound and cure it. I can finally move my shoulder again.
Yeah, there you go. Not so bad, huh?
No, it was awful, but thank you. I'm indebted to you.
Yeah. So, Luster Garrison. I've heard that before. Where did I hear that? He just kind of stares blankly for like 5 seconds, and then he just... You know, the light isn't just a beacon. It's a shadow's contrast. Don't forget what the darkness can teach you.
What do you mean by that?
What do I mean by a lot of things? Something I heard before. We always fight so much for lights, for a bright new day, that when we are hit with troubles, we seem to break down. Instead, we can learn from it. Learn from our mistakes. Learn from this. Lumia's been a shell of itself for almost a decade, if not longer. So many people are quick to lay down their swords and give up. But we will need to learn from this turmoil, pick ourselves up, because only then will we fight for a brighter day.
That's what Ekester does. That's what my father does. That's why I'm going to find him.
Seems like a good man.
He is. He'll lead us out of this shadow past. By whatever his fucking name is. What's his fucking name? Bad boy that sits on the throne right now?
Drexus.
Draxus. Rough.
So what are you searching for? Just your father? Or is there more? The light seems to shine bright within you. What is it, boy? Revenge? Hope? Or is it just your father?
No, I mean... I hope that my father will help me with that, right? He'll have plans, as he has.
I sure hope he does.
Right. But, your stew done?
Yeah.
I'm hungry.
He's gonna get a bowl, give it to you, and then he takes all like the bones and the scraps from the squirrel and he puts it in a separate bowl and lets the pup eat it. He gets a small bowl and starts eating himself. As the camp light or campfire starts to crackle and die, I'm gonna hit the hay. I pray that you're strong enough when the time comes. He's gonna
I know it will.
put a hand on your shoulder. He's gonna mosey on over to his bedroll. Gonna go to sleep.
He'll try to get a little bit of sleep around the fire, but he won't like. It's not like gonna get his bedroll out. He'll just like post up against a tree and just try to get a couple hours in.
Yeah.
And then first crack of light in the morning, if we get to that point, he's out.
Yeah. With a belly full of hot stew and nice warm fire, you sit up against that tree, hoping to get just a couple hours. You find yourself waking up with the light kind of hitting you right in the face, and your pup licking your face. The man's gone. You kind of go over to the stump where he was sitting, and you see an old, whether it's a sigil, part of a shield, part of armor. It's hard to tell. It's seen some sort of battle. It's dented, rusted, fractured. But it looks like a dove. Jawwick's symbol.
Just like a little buckler?
It's a little bit bigger. It seems like it would be on maybe a shoulder piece or on a shield itself. A pauldron, yes. But it does seem a little rough around the edges.
Yeah, I'll take it. I'll tuck it in my pack.
Okay. Soon, the smell of salt turns into the smell of fish. Right around the hump of the hill.
Oh, reminds me of Mom.
Humps and fish. God, I love my mom.
Oh no, I hate that bitch.
Oh.
I've already thought of words that I'm going to call her.
Wonderful. So you get closer to Hafren. This journey has been a lot. These 40, 60, somewhere in the middle. These days have taken a toll. You see a place called the Sandman's Sleep. You open the door, and you see a fairly lively crew. You see these dwarves dancing, doing some Irish-type jigs, someone playing a fiddle, a tambourine, people sitting around tables, clunking ale. You see in the corner a man. He doesn't seem as lively as everybody else. But with being as tired as you are, you just kind of mosey on over to a table and sit down, plop your head down for just a second. Hafren. You've made it to Hafren. Step 1 achieved. Find Dad. Where's he going to be? A barmaiden comes over and she kind of softly touches your shoulder. Dear, do you want anything to drink?
I'm sorry, I don't have money. Do you have maybe a tankard of water?
Of course. She kind of goes in the back and she scoops up a big cup full of water and places it next to you. I apologize. You don't seem like you're from around here. Just a heads up, the water is a little fishy, but it's refreshing, I promise.
No worries. I'm indebted to you. If you need anything done, I can do odd jobs to pay for this. I appreciate it.
No worries. Just rest up.
Right. Thank you.
You sip from your water, you kind of look around, and you hear the tides. When you were first walking in, you didn't really fully take in the ocean. You kind of were more hell-bent on just getting in. You wanted to get into somewhere cozy. Maybe to find answers of your dad. Maybe he's standing right there in the middle. But you never heard the tidal waves. You heard seagulls, you know, but you did not hear the waves. But all of a sudden you hear a crack, a huge wave smashing against the rocky shore, which kind of jolts you up. And then you hear a huge crack as it sounds like trees or something is just being ripped to shreds. Further down the coast, but still loud enough to be audible. A minute passes and you see a lot of the townspeople some of them run outside to see what's going on. Some people lift their heads up and then just go right back to drinking their ale. But the music has stopped. After a moment, you hear a man burst through the door. Are there any clerics?
He'll like hesitantly stand up. I'm trained in medicine.
Wonderful. And you see that man who was standing in the booth by himself. He lifts his head and he's like, I'm not much of a cleric, but I can help. And he heads out the door with the man. And you follow suit?
Yep.
That's where we're going to enter point 5.
Cool.
All right, everybody. We'll be right back with some more people. I hope everyone's...
the natural 20. God damn it. Accidental.
Well, hello, Kara.
Hi.
How are you?
Just chilling upstairs, wondering if you're killing everyone.
Everyone's dying.
Everyone is dead.
No. So with this Buzzy, how you've been here, thank you so much, by the way. It's really nice that you're a part of all this. We're going to be doing... Your point 5 is going to be relatively quick because this is where the exciting bits come in. Anyway, so the princess. You are in your room. It's exactly how you want it to be, with being the youngest daughter of royalty. You have almost everything that you could ever want handed onto you on a silver platter. But you don't have her. These last 10 years has been really difficult, especially with how you're trying to grow. When she left, you were just 9. You were young. This was supposed to be the time where you were supposed to learn about boys and being there with your mom, and she could teach you all of the things of the kingdom, but she's been gone. In her absence, your dad and your sister have been there, but it hasn't really been the same. The kingdom of Elil in Renora is beautiful. You guys are in one of the best positions in all of Vale. But in the back of your mind, you just keep thinking, she's got to be out there. I know she's out there. Looking at yourself in the mirror, you see your beautifully sprouted antlers. It's peak harvest, so they're as large and as beautiful as ever. Mm-hmm. And you look at yourself in the mirror and you look at your eyes, and all you can see is your mom's eyes. You're wondering if she'd be proud of you. You're wondering if all these times sneaking out and trying to live a little bit is worth it. And now that you've been living, partying, training, you heard a rumor. In the port of Davin and Styark, there's the last voyage leaving to Illumia. They haven't had anybody leave for years. It's a lost cause. It's a suicide mission. You were too young the last time that they left. There's no way your father was going to let you leave.
But I'm not a child anymore.
But you're not a child anymore. As you look into the mirror, you know there's no way you're getting out of this castle looking the way that you do. There's not very many Eladrin with antlers. I mean, it's only royalty. It's what makes you, you. You take your antler and you take a bone saw that you had to take from
the butcher.
From the butcher, and you start hacking away. It doesn't hurt physically. Spiritually, it hurts a lot. Mm-hmm. To ruin and destroy something that is so symbolic to your family and, well, your mother, it hurts. But they'll grow back. And this will get you one step closer. One step closer. As you're halfway hacking your antler, you hear a slight knock on the door. Are you in there?
Who is it?
You hear the voice of Clancy. She is one of your, maidens. You've always been fond of her.
Wrap a scarf around my head in kind of like a little bow, which I sometimes do to kind of hide the damage I've already done on the one antler. Clancy, come in.
I'm sorry to intrude. I love the scarf.
Thank you.
Sorry to intrude, but you know how your father is. He's been so worried. You've been cooped up in your room the last couple of days. I just wanted to check in for him.
You know, if my father was worried, he could probably do the checking in, Clancy.
You know he's never been so good at this type of stuff.
I'm fine. I am. It will be fine.
Can you roll a sleight of hand?
A sleight of hand?
Mm-hmm.
What am I? Am I pickpocketing
No.
Clancy?
No.
Okay.
You'll see here in a second.
Okay. Sorry, I have to pull my thing up. I had my character notes up.
You're good.
Okay. I'm going to roll a d20. Ooh, okay. Plus stuff. Nine.
As you're talking to her, you're holding the bone saw, and you realize, oh shit! And
I
you,
have
you
to
go
hide
to, you go to put it behind your back, and she, honey, what do you have there?
I'm working on a project.
You can roll a deception.
I'm kind of working on a project. Is that not true?
That's kind of true.
15.
Okay. Interesting. Well, dear, you know that I'm here for you. I know I'm not her, but I try to be as best as I can. I care for you deeply.
Clancy, you. No one can fill the shoes that mother left. But that's not your job.
I know.
I love you for you, and I thank you for all of these years of service and lessons that you have taught me.
Well, thank you, dear. It's been a pleasure. Don't tell your father. And she sneaks you a lemon tart.
These are my favorite.
And she heads out.
I would just like give her a quick hug and a kiss on the cheek, trying to hide the emotion in my face.
With that, you lock your door and you go back to hacking. First antler, like I said, it's not that it hurts. It's an awkward angle. It's hard. After several minutes, it finally comes off.
And I also think seeing Clancy really kind of rushed her.
Yeah.
Like, she's like, I can't get caught doing this. Like, so when it's about to give, she actually like goes ahead and snaps it off, that remaining portion. So
Yep.
it's a little jagged just because she's trying to
Do it quickly. So yeah, you have a slight, on one end there's a slight jagged piece. The other end, the other one you cut pretty clean. It's kind of jagged in the other way. So one end's kind of going down, one end's kind of going up.
In my mind, I'm like, I can fix it later.
Yeah, you're like, I can hone this down, I can file it, no big deal. So you take your scarf and you wrap it around your entire face, and you sneak out your window like you've done many, many times to go downtown.
I just have more supplies this time.
But this time is different. As you travel down, it's a quiet night. It's nights like these that you remember walking through the courtyard with your mother as she would point up at the stars and show you the constellations and tell you the moon and all of its stories about Eratun and its sister moons, and you just kind of get that feeling. I'm going to see her again. These memories are just that, but I'm going to get the real thing again. So you travel. It's a long road. It's a long trek. I mean, you're traveling basically across the continent. Luckily, you have money. You are able to pay a courier to take you there via very nice cart and wagon. Was a lady like you got this much amount of money? You're like throwing it around.
My father's a very successful businessman.
Right.
And that's all you need to know.
Oh,
And I slide another gold.
yeah. Well, if you're paying, then I'll keep my mouth shut.
And I would say that she purposely did not go for high-end coach. She went for mid-tier.
Okay.
To not be, like, auspicious. Because obviously if she's missing, her dad is going to be, like, looking there.
One thing I will say is that your mid-stage coach is still higher echelon.
Yeah.
So, like, if we were to say, like, a horse-drawn, like, griffin.
Well, I'm not doing a private jet.
It's like,
but...
it's like right one below,
Yeah.
right? You're not in a Mercedes-Benz, but you're, like, in a really nice Audi. Anyway. So you travel, and, I mean, the roads are clear. It's nice. We're getting into the golden light era, or golden light phase of the harvest, where not a cloud in sight. The fields are filled with hay, and
golden and
the sun is just shining down. You see flowers blossomed, and some are starting to wilt, but most of them are standing tall and proud.
I think in this moment she just like turns her face towards the sun, and for once she feels sure about what she's doing and full of hope.
Perfect. So as you travel through the Renora area, you pass by a lot of interesting stuff. You see Black Rock off in the distance, a really swampy area. You notice that the coachman kind of rides a little bit faster when he's passing by that area. But then you get to the vast mountainous area of Styark. There's huge mountains just kissing the sky. From there, you enter in a slightly planed area where it's just very flat. until you start actually heading down. As the days kind of go forth, you kind of get rocked asleep by this carriage time and time again, until you start to hear the sounds of seagulls. You hear seagulls, you hear people working, you see the city of Davin. It's a really nice, for you, not so nice, but it's a pretty fair, humble, human city. It's one of the bigger cities. It's one of the bigger cities. There's a lot of cobblestone. It's very nautical. It's right on the ocean. There are some like pseudo factories. They're not necessarily like smokestack factories, but they're like textile. It's hustling and bustling.
Driver,
Yeah.
can you bring me all the way to the port, please?
Going to the port.
Yes. If it's extra,
It's not extra, but what brings you to the port?
I'm going on a voyage. And that's all you need to know.
Oh. Well, if that's the case, I'm going to need an extra 10 gold.
Okay.
Cool. All right. And he takes you down.
In my head, I'm like, maybe he has like parking fees or something at the port.
He leads you down to the port, and you see these 3 pretty sizable ships. You see one, it's a nice large wooden ship, kind of your classical pirate ship, quote unquote. It's got this ginormous white sail, and it's got tinges of white paint, like painted in stripes. Next to that, you see a smaller ferry type ship, one that's kind of entirely enclosed. So there's the main deck, but it's in a slight like triangular shape. It's a soft triangle, so you can still walk on the top. Mm-hmm. It has one massive sail, and then you see a ginormous battleship. This one is like to the nines. It's got ropes, it's got cannons, it's got a lot.
My pack and like
you see on that battleship, you see people lifting like ballista things and going on in, and you see these large Goliath men just like grabbing barrels and like putting them on their shoulder and walking up. And you see a human gentleman. The only reason, even though there's a good 100 people standing around, this man really, really stands out because, for one, he's standing on like a elevated post, kind of looking around, but he's also dainting some really nice armor. It's really soft white with some golden encrustments. He's got some very nice blonde hair that he has slicked back into a very nice military cut, and a very bright handlebar mustache hanging down his face. You hear him starting to, kind of talk to some people. You're still kind of pushing your way through the line. And someone does stop you and go, you do realize where this is heading. Are you heading here?
I'm looking for the shipmaster. I'm going on the volunteer voyage. Yes.
Right. Well, it's that guy up there. Go talk to him.
Okay. Thank you for your assistance.
Perfect. Best of luck.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
You as well.
That guy kind of walks away. As you're getting closer, you see boarding the smaller ferry ship. You see 2 Yanti guards. They're wearing this attire that's very similar to the ones near the Amoral kingdom. And you see them pushing a prisoner. He's all tied up. He's the only one that you see in chains, but they're just pushing him into the ship, and then they're standing their post and they're walking away. From there, like I said, you see people rolling barrels in. You see several people standing at attention, looking up at the man on the pedestal. As you heading that way, we're going to cut your 0.5 there.
All right, thank you.
Of course, will you send down Krista?
Okay.
No, send down Zach.
Zach.
I'm getting on this boat.
Yeah, that's that tiny little guy.
Yep.
So
Okay.
we're about to get this started.
Okay.
Yours will be shorter like Kara's as well. But we're going to start your adventure. The Hermit.
The Hermit. Okay.
Okay. Time has been a blur. The seconds turn to days, days to seasons, to years so quick. Your workshop is a whirlwind of experiments, both failed and unfinished. It's been quiet lately. The letters stopped. And with no letters, the progress seems to have stopped as well. Lampros is in a league of his own, a mind that's so willing to help you. It's been a long time since you've heard back from him. As you sit there, it's your kind of workshop is kind of a mess. You have these like small construct metal men that you've been working on, and you can't really get them right. How does Lampros do it? He doesn't transfer a soul. He almost makes the soul itself. How does he make these things live? You've tried so much. You've tried transferring souls.
Too much.
And you've tried more magical means, more mechanical means, but it seems like Lampros has this perfect balance. If only you could get another letter from him.
And, most logical thing, if, I can't reach him with letters, I gotta go to him.
Likely. So you're sitting in your office, in your workshop. It's been, like I said, it's been a while. You eat, you sleep, all that, but you get so enthralled with your work. How long has it been? It's been longer than a month. It's probably been longer than a year.
Smells like 10.
It smells like a long time. As you're going through your letters, you're reading past letters with Lampros. Stationed in Necrota. Okay. Necrota. That's in Illumia. Illumia. It's just a voyage away. Mm-hmm. Is it? It has to be. Okay. Well, if that's the case, let's see how I can get there. Do you pack anything with you, or do you just kind of...
If I'm going with the intent to, make a journey to go see him, the only thing I would pack would probably be, tinkering stuff, so I don't get, bored on the way,
Yeah.
So that's about it.
Perfect. Yeah, you bring along your tinkering. You look at your failed models of these constructs. Some of them just, some of them with legs. Some of them have little wheels. You're like, none of them, it doesn't matter if they can move if I can't get them to move. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter what they have. So you kind of almost stopped with that point of, body if you can't get its mind right.
Yeah, what's the point of working on the outside if I can't get the inside?
Exactly. So you grab your supplies and you grab everything that you can, and you make your way out. You're in the city of Davin. You open the door for the first time ever. You notice that there's cobwebs growing on the door itself, and it creaks open, and oh my God, is the light so bright. You've been being lit by lanterns and magical lights, and you keep it dim because that's how you've gotten used to it. But with the light of the sun blasting into your eye holes, you're almost singed.
I'm blind.
And then comes everything else that comes with the city. you get blasted by all the sounds.
Oh, I forgot what noise sounded like.
You get blasted by the sounds of people, the clopping of hooves on cobblestone. You hear people down by the docks. You hear seagulls. You smell the fish.
Is that woman showing her ankles? How outrageous!
What is this? So you kind of start your journey of, well, how do I get to Illumia? It's got to be as easy as a voyage, right? That's how it always was. Well,
Yeah.
for a while at least.
Quickest way should be a boat, and I should know where the coast is, because that don't change.
Yeah. So you're like, for a second, as you're like stepping outside, everything seems so foreign to you. But like as a puzzle coming together, you're like, oh, I've got it. Like I've been here. My mind has been somewhere else for so long that like everything seemed broken and wrong until you're like, oh no, this is, you just go down the corner. Okay, whatever. Like I've been here. So
This shop is new.
yeah, you're like, you do see a couple new shops, nothing too crazy. You know, you do see some of what you thought were like these little like kids at the time are now like almost teenagers, and you're just like, what the hell? Like this Patty Sue who was working at the bakery used to be
Jimmy, is that
little so
you?
small, and now she's like basically a grown woman.
You have a baby now.
What is this? So as you're walking, you do hear some, like, you hear a woman, like, grabbing onto a man, and she's like, please, no, it's not worth it. You have a life here. You have a life here. And he's, no, I got to. I have to go. And he pushes her away as he starts walking down to the coast.
Young people are always making rash decisions.
The city you do see, as you're getting closer to the coast, you see posted on a wall, you do see a volunteer voyage to Illumia.
Take out my glasses. Oh,
You're like, oh, wonderful.
my luck.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, ah, perfect.
Just where I'm heading.
You start to head on down, and someone does, like, you're kind of like looking at it like, and it's like gruff dwarf kind of comes over to you. He's like, are you having trouble reading that, Grandpa?
No, it's just whoever wrote it writes like a chicken.
Well, yeah, that'd be, what, Captain Monroe? You're not... do you know what's... are you going there?
To Illumia?
Yes.
Oh, yes. I haven't been there in ages.
Right.
A beautiful city, if I don't say. Great. Marvelous.
Are you well, sir?
Yes, thank you. And are you?
Right. Well, if you're taking the trip, then head down to the docks.
You're such a kind lad.
No worries. And he's just like, you see him like shifting away, like, oh God, and he
And I
walks.
start hobbling over that way.
Okay. So as you get closer, you hear this like kind of rile of people. Some of which are kind of cheering and like kind of hyping themselves up. Others are kind of like saying like, no, like almost trying to boycott this event. You're just kind of happy in the middle.
People must not really like this Captain Monroe guy if they're so worried about him traveling.
So
Must be a new captain.
So you head on down, and you're shuffling down, and you see 3 main vessels. There's obviously a lot of like smaller dinghies around, but you see these like 3.
These 3 main ones right here?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you see some 3 pretty extravagant ships. These are traveling ships. These are trips that are meant to go
Now,
the
are
distance.
These like typical boat on water ship?
Yes.
Like masts and everything?
Yep.
Okay.
So the main ship that you see is this ginormous, very stereotypical pirate ship, as you will. It's got a white line basically painted all the way across it, as it has this very pale wood. It's got giant masts, 3 giant masts that have all these white, beautiful white sails. And on the front of it, you see basically a star. It looks like a star. To the side is a smaller ferry-like ship. This one doesn't necessarily have a top like that one there. This one's kind of more like a slouched triangle that meets up in the middle. It's got guards around the side, or guardrails around the side. But this one, you can tell most people are underneath. They're not on top. And it does have one major mass. And then you see this huge warship. In your history, yep, this is a Goliath warship. They make them big. It's huge. It is about twice as big as the first ship that you looked at. This one just has a bunch of cannons and ropes and chains kind of hanging all over it. And you see on the mast of it, you see like a statue of a man holding up a fist. You see people going to that big ship. They're wheeling in barrels of, you just see barrels. And you see them with like ballista shots. You see some of them with cannonballs. You see some Goliaths just like holding 2 barrels walking in. On the smaller ship, you see 2 Yanti guards in a outfit that's not native to this area. You notice this is like the traditional garbs of the Al-Ramal nation. It's very light tans and yellows and pinks. And they're pushing somebody that's like chained. They're pushing them into the one smaller ship, and then they turn around and walk back. You hear Monroe. At first, the sounds are a little gargled. You got a lot of people talking, but you see Monroe, or who you presume as Monroe, on this slightly elevated podium, talking out to everybody. He's in this very nice outfit. He's got mixtures of whites and golds across his chain plate. You see his nice bright blonde hair pushed back into a military style cut with a nice long handlebar mustache. You see a couple people meandering about, like talking. You see some people walking towards that area, some people walking away. Most of the people you see walking there are kind of like prominent. You see them having a weapon on their side. They seem like they have a purpose. So you kind of mosey your way over to that kind of area.
I have a purpose, yeah.
You do. And I will have you go get Krista.
No. It's too far of a walk. My knee hurts.
I'm gonna take a little sippy.
You got water over there?
I have an energy drink. That's what's keeping me going. Alrighty. The mob wife.
It's me.
You dreamt of him again last night. It's only been 2 days since he's been gone, but it feels like a lifetime. You found a spot that makes you feel safe. The hustle and bustle of the city hums outside the muffled walls of an old warehouse where you and him would sneak off to see each other. You can still see an engraving you two left on the desk. There's so many thoughts going through your head, yet it almost feels like it's up to you. Where do you go? What do you do now? If they killed him, what's stopping them from killing you? What's the point of going on if he's gone? As you sit there, the feeling of dread kind of just takes over you. But you feel just a little pressure. Almost like a hug, but extremely faint. You just feel a little pressure on your shoulders. You think about it and you kind of relax and you enjoy that pressure, and then it's gone. And then you think to yourself, like, what even was that? Like, what? But then you hear some footsteps. They get louder and louder as they're echoing through this empty warehouse. Nobody should know about this spot. This was you and his. That's it. You hear these footsteps get loud. Hello? You hear these
Augie?
you hear these footsteps get louder and louder and louder as until they're right on the outside of the door.
I think I would tuck myself away and hide.
Hey, it's me, Viola. I promise, it's just me. Are you in there?
Who's Viola again?
Viola is one of the choir girls, so she is a pseudo member of the whispered ensemble, but she's mostly there for the gossips and the whispers. You are also a choir girl. Typically, they are the spouses of somebody in the whispered ensemble.
And then do I know who killed Augie?
You, from what you know, he was killed.
Was it an inside job?
It was killed within. Maestro wanted it done. You don't know why he wanted it done. It doesn't really make much sense. Augie was like the best enforcer he had. He was such a gentle heart, but when he needed to get the job done, he got the job done. He was one of the most loyal men to Maestro. Why would he be killed?
Okay, so if nobody else should have known about this spot, I think I just keep quiet. I don't say anything. Kind of like find a small spot to tuck myself into, just in case she comes in.
Mm-hmm. Please. She goes over to the door. I know this is your spot. You'd sneak away with Augie. If you're in there, I promise I'm not a threat.
An inside joker.
Mm-hmm.
I don't trust her. I don't trust anybody right now.
No, that's fair.
8.
8? I mean, you know her. You would honestly say she's one of the closest friends you had in that group. You're thinking back, you're like, maybe I did tell her about this spot. Hopefully she's the only one that knows. How does she know I'm here? Is she making an assumption? She seems pretty, like, poignant to, like, get in here. But she seems calm. She seems nice. She seems like there's caring behind those words.
And it seemed like there was only one set of footsteps?
Only one footstep. One set of footsteps.
Okay. I take my dagger out and I'll like open the door. Like I'll crack it open.
Yeah.
So, in the event that something occurs, I at least have like 3/4 cover.
Yeah.
Like
You see her. She's just standing there. She's like, oh, how I've missed you. And I promise. Like, she like takes a step back and she gestures for you to like look out. She's like, it's just me. I promise you. If Maestro knew I was doing this, I fear he'd kill me himself. I just came with some information. That's it.
what information?
Well, if I was able to find this warehouse, I'm afraid that somebody else might. You know that they're looking for you right now, and Maestro's web, it stretches all across Styark. I heard. Now, it's a little crazy, but I heard there's some ships leaving the port today. I don't know where they're heading. It could be Alamoral, it could be Blackrock, not the greatest of places, but better than here. It could give you some time to focus, give you some time to recover, and hopefully over some time, they'll just forget, and we can just move on from this. Well, not move on, but you know what I mean. I just want you to be safe.
I don't even know why it happened.
I don't know either. I'll have to ask around. I don't know. He was his right-hand man. It was kind of out of nowhere. I didn't hear anything about it. I mean, Octave, I mean, he's been kind of antsy lately. Maybe it has something to do with that, but I don't know. I mean, Riff has no clue. Riff is her husband. Riff has no clue. He's honestly the reason why I wanted to come looking for you, is because he knew that you were in danger as well. I have no clue what Nocturne did. I have no clue. But it must have been enough to want him dead and you.
And I have no idea what, would have led up to that.
No, not really. I mean, you thinking back, you're like, okay, well, you can't really leave the group, so maybe he was trying to leave with information. I mean, he was an enforcer. You don't think that he would rat on any of them.
Right.
He knew information of where deals were going to be made, who was making those deals. Maybe he accidentally let out some of that. Maybe he was trying to there's so many things that he could have tried to do, but pinpointing it and also thinking of Augie, I don't think he would try any of that. He was loyal to the group. He's a loyal man. It's hard. It's hard to say.
Okay.
Listen, I want that fat bastard to choke more than anybody here. There's nothing I can do about it right now. Maybe, if you go somewhere else, you're smart, you're cunning, maybe we could get some group to get him from the inside. And there's nothing I can do. I'd probably be dead the instant I stepped foot in his office, but anywhere but here. There's people looking for you everywhere. So I know it's a long shot. I would just get on one of those ships. They say it's a volunteer ship. You don't even have to pay to get on there. How crazy is that? It's like fate. It's like meant to be.
Do I have to do work?
I don't think so. I mean, maybe they'll...
Volunteer makes me think I have to do work.
Maybe they'll ask you to... There's probably a bar on there. You could pour some people drinks. I don't know. Hopefully you don't have to get your hands dirty. Maybe you could be a navigator. I don't know. I've never been on a boat, so I don't know what they do.
Okay.
Maybe you could be a dancer. You've always... Not in that way. Just entertainment.
Maybe.
Just be safe out there, okay?
Yeah. You too.
I'll try. You know I'm not very good at keeping my mouth shut, but this is our secret. Stay clever.
And I want to know that I didn't open the door at all. Any further.
Yeah.
We was just talking through
She literally the instant that you're done, you can either close the door. Regardless, she walks away.
Yeah, I would close it as quiet as I can. And then
Yep. So you sit. You think.
And I wait.
Is this an idea? Is this a good idea? Leaving everything behind on a whim. But he was your everything. It's hard. I imagine you probably cry.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She's got, mascara tears just, down her face. that have been there.
Yeah.
And like she looks a little disheveled because she's been here for days.
Yeah. You stand up. You're kind of using the desk to like support yourself, just because you're letting a lot out, and your finger grazes over the engravements of the initials of you and Augie, and it feels like a small burn. Not like you're putting your hand in the middle of an oven, but like you're wafting your hand over a candle flame. You just feel this presence, and you kind of lift your thumb up, and you see the engravement. It doesn't look any different, but when your thumb was on it, it felt hot. Well, no need to focus on that for now. You pack what you have, whatever it may be.
Not very much.
Sounds about right. And you work your way over to the docks. You hide your face, and it seems like every set of eyes looking at you has nefarious intentions.
Right.
Although they might not. It could be just a gentle old woman on a bench feeding the seagulls, and for whatever reason her eyes are filled with malice. You're extremely on edge. Mm-hmm. Hiding your face, hiding your body, just cloaked up. You make your way down to the docks, and the smell of fish is abundant. The sound of seagulls is a loud chorus of cries, and you hear people raving and rioting. Some people are kind of like hyping themselves up. Some people are like pleading to the people on the shoreline not to go. Honestly, to you, it's all just a hum. You are so caught in your own head of these people's lives. None of it really matters. You're so enthralled with your own bubble, what you're going through right now. Everything just kind of feels numb as you slowly march past everybody. There's somebody standing on a podium talking. You don't fully pay him any mind. You just march. You see 3 ships. There's a ginormous warship that has cannons and ballistas and a bunch of things all over it. You see some Goliaths like picking up barrels and walking through. You see the smaller ferry-like boat that has a small guardrail around the end of it, and the ship itself is kind of shaped like a flat triangle. So it's like up and then flat.
Like a trapezoid.
Like a trapezoid. You can tell nobody's really on the deck of that ship. They're mostly underneath. It seems more like a traveling ship. And then you see this kind of grandiose ship. It's not as big as the warship. It's actually probably half as small. But it's got these giant white masts with a white stripe painted across it. And you see on the front bow part like a star. You kind of just take a look at it. I mean, it is breathtaking, but at the same time, who cares? You think to yourself, this is my journey. Will get me home. As you turn around, you see a familiar face looking at you. It's Octane. He just kind of smirks. And he walks away. He doesn't even seem like he's trying to stop you. If he cared so much, why wouldn't he come after you? Wouldn't he want you to be with them, to pay for your crimes, to whatever it may be? No. He notices you, he smirks, he walks away. You board onto the ship, a lot more nervous now, as you kind of like are darting your eyes around, looking, making sure that none of the faces seem familiar. They don't. You see people from all walks of life kind of aboarding the ship, kind of some people getting the masses ready, some people, just spit shining. But you go to the deck, you look out, you don't see any more familiar faces. Nocturne is far gone. that's where we'll end your point 5.
Yeah, I think I would like not stay on the
Oh,
top
yeah,
for
sorry.
very long.
Yeah.
And go underneath like as quickly as possible.
For sure. There's in the under part, what I will say is there is like a kind of kitchen area where there's some round tables that are like nailed to the ground where a lot of people are congregating right now.
I would do my best to blend in.
Yep. Okay. Go grab Zach and Kara.
Is that why we're all together?
Oh God.
Okay.
Because we're going native?
So all of you.
Countryist.
We're moving.
Continent.
Not really, man. Hold on.
Does anyone have an extra
I do.
coaster? Now Jason's gonna be like, why do
Aha.
I have so many coasters in my puppy?
Okie dokie.
Artichoke.
So all of you guys have made your ways to the docks. Your own journey brings you there. Miss Mobwife.
Hey! Don't do
Sorry,
my
sorry.
backstory.
No, that's Miss. I said Bob Ross.
I actually didn't hear it.
Good.
My friend here.
I didn't hear nothing.
Good.
No.
My friend here.
I'm too
Leave that
old.
out. Actually, it doesn't matter because everyone else knows. You're sitting in the dining hall, and you feel a presence, like someone putting their hand on your shoulder. Again. This time more prominent. You look up, and nothing. For you two there, you're standing in front of Monroe. Like I said before, this human who is pretty prominent in his stature, with a slick back blonde hair, the light bouncing off of it. You hear him giving his speech as everybody else is kind of boarding the ship. There's a lot of members that are just kind of like standing in this crowd. Most of the people that are boarding the warship are just continuing to board, and you see a lot more of like elderly type or not as hardy people entering the traveling ship. You see Captain Monroe, he's standing there. I stand here before you, all sailing to uncertain waters, to uncertain lands. You have your reasons for going, and I am not the judge whether to say they are justified. There are reasons none the less important to you. Stepping onto this voyage, you are going to make a choice. Staring entirely different direction, may never see your family again, and you will never see your home again. I believe you've already come to terms with that. You're in the ship, so you don't hear any of this. I thank you all for having the faith in me to lead you safely through the mystery. Let's board up. We are set to sail. If you choose to back down now, there will be no judgment, only an affirmation that that we have a crew ready to take on this adventure. Styark has sent hundreds of troops in aid of Illumia, and yet they haven't heard back from anyone in years. So this journey, just know it may be a dangerous one. But you all have reasons. Reasons nonetheless. So, I thank you. I thank Captain Commodore for accompanying me. And he points over to this ginormous Goliath who is missing a leg. And he is like, absolutely. And he points, and all of his men that are like just these burling huge dudes all get onto his ship that he has deemed Paku's Fist. I also thank Ramada Cray here for taking those weaker but want to return home. And he points over to Ramada Cray, who is this turtle. He's an older turtle. He's got a nice hat on. He's got one of those like nice pirate-ish hats. It's got a big feather sticking out of it. But he's not really wearing any clothes besides that. He's just got like a nice cloak. Yes, I promise that we will get there safe. Quick and safe. And he boards the turtle back Jack.
Cute.
The rest of you, you're with me. Onto Illumia's reprieve. And he starts to board up the rest. You notice about 30 people go to the Turtleback Jack, about 50 onto Paku's Fist. There's about 30, 35 on Illumia's reprieve. You guys board his ship. A lot of you getting your sea legs for the first time. At this time, I mean, you all kind of notice the people that are around you. You notice several humans. You notice this blue dragonborn. There's a half-orc, wood elf, catfolk, tabaxi. He's black and has shimmers of gold on his face and down his back and on his tail.
Cute.
You see a water elf. She seems prominent with trident standing on the top of the deck. She's got this nice red scarf that she has kind of flapping in the wind. Everybody kind of gets settled. There's a lot of people that already have been kind of doing jobs, getting the ship ready. But at this point in time, what do you do?
After checking in with the shipmaster, I board the ship and I look for someone who is doing a job.
Okay. So you walk over and you see two humans standing on the deck. One of them is kind of tightening the ropes, getting everything set to sail. And the other one you see kind of leaned, standing next to him, not really working, but he's kind of just muttering, talking to the guy, and the one guy's like talking back while he's getting everything ready. And you see the water elf, the aquatic elf, kind of standing, watching over everybody on the deck.
I kind of like have my pack, my staff. For those above deck, they see a tall Eladrin with very tanned skin. She is dressed very finely in like auburn and fall colors, very fine stitched traveling cloak, and very bright, like a deep brown eyes. I approach the guy that's muttering. Are we assigned cabins? I just boarded.
Oh, well, pleasure to meet you. Yes and no. It's kind of a first one, first serve. There's a barracks at the bottom. If you get a bed, you get a bed. If you don't get a bed, seems like the floor is going to be your home for a little bit.
Okay. And she reaches up. She kind of tightens this, like, traveling scarf. Mm-hmm. She has tendrils of auburn curls peeking out of it. Take a deep breath, and the barracks that way?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Of course.
Thank you. Walk that way.
So you start heading towards the barracks. My friend, where do you head?
I start walking up the boat with my staff. And I'll find...
There is a goblin who goes, hey, elderly typically go on the never mind.
You boy, yes, you. What year is it?
And he says, he says a time that's like 10 years past, or about 7 years past from what?
Oh, it's been that long.
Yeah.
I'll start making my way on.
Okay. And he's gonna kind of come over, and he like kind of grabs your arm to try to help you up.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Help an old man cross
Yeah.
the street.
Well, what's your name, sir?
My name is Nikolai Giovanna.
Oh, that's
Ooh.
fancy. I'm Poblo.
Yes, are you taking me to my room, Bobolo?
I can.
Thank you.
There
I
is-
pat him on his head.
Aww.
Okay.
Mrs. Hera.
He leads you over towards the
I've
barracks,
unwrapped
which
burgers.
you are one of the first people to make it to the barracks.
Want a piece of candy?
Sure.
Take it out of my pocket and give it to him.
I am a grown man, sir, but I appreciate it.
It's a Werther's original, but it has like lint on it out of the wrapper.
Yup, unwrapped. Floating around in your cloak for 7 years.
So, yeah, you make it to the barracks, and they're kind of empty at this point. You do see some guy, a human male. He's over at, like, a small desk, and he's just, like, you see a bunch of papers, like, kind of scattered around him, and he's, like, furiously writing something.
I'm gonna go check that out, Pablo. Top bunk's mine, though. I chuckle and start waddling my way over.
Whatever you say, Nico Velli.
Just call me Nico.
All right, Nico.
Ah, youngins.
You walk over to the guy who's jotting away on the at the desk, and he seems a little disheveled. When you walk over there, he kind of hides what he's writing. Hey, how can I help you?
You seem a little disheveled. How can I help you?
There's nothing. Once we make it to Illumia, that's all I
You're the
need.
First person I've seen writing on this boat, so you piqued my interest.
It's just silly letters, I guess.
Well, you're not drawing pictures, so I imagine everything is letters.
Well, yeah. Just a letter for somebody that I really hope gets it.
I pull up a chair. Oh, well, back in my day, I used to have somebody I wrote letters to, too.
He folds it and like puts this one in his pocket. Yeah, and you can kind of chatter with
I
him.
do the old man story, and I talk to him for as long as he'll listen.
He listens for a pretty long time. So as you're chattering and as you're kind of heading toward the barracks, when you get to the barracks, you do see an old man speaking to a younger human who's trying his best to be with it, but he's
Like
kind of
actively
he's
listening?
kind of like, all right. But basically, the instant you get to the barracks, you hear, "All right, we're off," and you feel the ship start to move just
Kind
a
of like
little
a-
bit.
I remember when people still rowed boats.
So, when you get into the building, the human goes, "Oh, I want to see us leaving the dock. Nice talking to you, sir." And he wanders out, and he just goes, "He's got a mouth." He just-
Seeing an older individual, can you describe like what you look? Do you like put together?
So yeah, he's wearing, like a... I wouldn't say fancy, but definitely, dirty. Like, he looked like he just, walked out of his house after 10 years of doing whatever the hell it looked like he was doing. So yeah, he's definitely not the cleanest at all. Didn't even think about showering or anything. And now he's just sitting there, reminiscing.
I look around because I'm like, is he someone who knows what's going on? I don't think so.
Good call.
Is there
good call.
anyone who's like assigning bunks?
No, like I said, it was first come, first serve.
Okay,
so
so-
people just, if you put your stuff on a bunk, it's kind of like dibs.
I look for one that doesn't have stuff on it.
Yep. You are one of the...
Preferably the top because I don't know. I'm very tall.
Yeah.
Which wherever I feel like I won't wake up and slam my head against something.
Yeah. I mean, you guys are in like the lower part of the ship, so the roofs are actually fairly tall.
Oh, okay.
So you'd be able to not stand up on the top bunk, but you'd be close to it.
I've done claim that the desk is mine.
The desk?
Stuff on there.
Well, yeah, I would put my belongings on the top bunk.
All right. We're gonna hop to you real quick. So you're sitting in the kitchen area, and everyone's there's a nervous feel to everybody. I mean, with the ship moving, it's real. There's no turning back. You don't know that. you're just here, and you see the tabaxi gentleman comes over, and he, mind if I take a seat?
Sure. I'll say that like she keeps her hand like on her waist where she like stores her dagger.
Okay.
Just like as a
Yeah.
precaution.
He notices that, but he doesn't say anything. You just see his eyes dart down to the dagger and then back up at you. So, what brings you to Illumia?
Going on vacation.
I like you.
I'm meeting my husband there.
Oh, that's a wonderful honeymoon spot.
We've been married for a while. It's not a honeymoon, but
Fair enough. Wonderful vacation spot, I'd say.
is that
No.
where we're going?
Yes.
Okay. He just told me to get on the ship. So
Yeah. So honestly, when he says Illumia, like your heart kind of sinks a little bit. You're like, oh no,
shit.
because like you know that like that place, people have not been able to hear from it for a while, and you're like, well, if there's a place to hide, then I guess Illumia is a nice spot, but,
yeah.
And the tabaxi, he kind of starts like playing with his hair. He actually has like, as a tabaxi, he has longer hair that's swept over, and he sweeps it, and his ear pops up, and you see like a bunch of ornate like golden jewelry in his ear. Well, it's nice to meet you. I am Kashin. It's always nice to meet. I've been trying to talk to some of the crew here, get to know everybody. I feel like we're going to be on this boat for a little bit. I'd rather break the ice.
It's nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Quick question, DM.
Quick answer.
Is my last name well known? Okay.
I know it.
Nope. Yours would be well known within that sphere, but to the common folk, no.
Oh, Miss Fontaine. I remember. I knew her grandfather.
Maybe.
History roll.
Actually, it's her husband's last name, so
Hey, I don't know
You
that.
just
I
dropped
just know
some
the
juicy
grandpa.
goss.
I don't know what offspring he had. I just know it was him.
As you're sitting there, kind of chit-chatting, a blue dragonborn female, she comes up. She's got these beautiful, like, silver horns and nice jewelry on. She still seems like she's kind of a fighter. She's wearing armor, but she's got, like, a very nice class to it. Mind if I sit? Not disturbing you two, am I?
no. I think I'm like kind of in like a corner.
Yeah.
So like I'm keeping an eye on all entrances and exits.
Yeah. It's nice to meet you all. My name's Quiv. I guess we're all heading to Illumia, huh? I come with a guest, and she sets up this like small urn. My son is from Illumia. I wanted to return him home. So, sorry if I made this a little sad. It's just, I know that we all have our reasons. Like Captain Moreau said, none are too small or too big.
I just kind of like, she sets down the urn, and I just kind of like look away and start blinking a lot.
Whistling.
like eyes up, like
Well,
wipe my face. Hopefully, trying to get the makeup off my.
yeah, she's like, you've been crying, dear. It's okay. It's hard times.
Nope.
Hard times. But there's always a little bit of hope. It goes a long way. just hope that his father's still there. Otherwise, I guess I didn't think it all the way through. I'd be alone. Well, oh well. Kashin.
Sometimes there's strength in being alone, and then I just kind of like, I think I'd probably like get up before he starts talking. But like, if he starts talking,
No, he like starts to open his mouth, but if you stand up, he's not gonna stop. He just, and then they start to kind of chit chat.
I'll go try to find a quiet room.
Yeah.
And I think I'd look for somebody that's like unassuming.
Wonderful.
Somebody that's like a little naive and looks like
Yeah.
somebody that doesn't look suspicious to me.
Yeah. So you
Like a low-tier crewman?
No, like somebody to bunk with.
Oh, okay.
you're sitting or you're walking
Like
kind
somebody
of,
who won't kill me in my sleep.
yeah. You're walking around, and I mean,
That's an ask.
you see a lot of people that seem relatively friendly, but you see a very shy figure kind of standing in the corner, like looking out one of the port windows. It's an Aarakocra. You haven't really seen very many Aarakocra. It's not like they're extremely rare, but they're not everywhere. This one actually kind of looks like a loon. It's black feathers, head sprinkled with some white feathers around its neck.
I thought you meant crazy.
No, like a bird loon.
A loon.
And yeah, she's just kind of staring out the window. You can see her eyes just kind of milling about, kind of watching the waves as they crash along the side of the ship. Oh, sorry, did you one of you?
I kind of like look out the window, probably seeing the land disappearing.
Yeah, you're watching the land disappear. You can still see the port, but it's far in the back.
I just kind of like look out and then back to the wall. Watch people watching.
Weird.
Yeah. Well,
Quite the crew.
quite the crew. A bunch of drifters and I guess people that want to find purpose or don't have a purpose. And I don't know.
What are you? What are you?
Want to find a purpose. I've heard so much of the Lumia. I've never been. And I mean, these are horrible times to venture out, but it's once in a lifetime opportunity. And they're saying this is the last voyage that they're going to send to Illumia until, well, things get back to normal or things calm down. Have you seen the bubble?
What bubble?
Roll a history.
The bubble. You know the
11.
bubble.
11. So you haven't seen it. You've heard people talk about it. It's more, most of the time you're like, how exaggerated is this? But you hear about the bubble that surrounds the nation of Illumia. It stretches out miles around its shore and encapsulates the entire continent. People say that if you go in, you can't go out. It's like a one-way door. No one knows why it's there. It just has... You almost can't see it. But if the light hits it just right, you can see a slight glimmer and shimmer as it like ripples down the bubble. That's about all you know, though.
I haven't seen the bubble.
I've flown next to it before. It's a long, long flight, but I really wanted to see it.
Must have been tired.
Yeah. Took me 2 days. 2 days of flight. 3? No. It was longer than that. You can only flap your wings so many times until you kind of lose track. Yeah. But I remember I flew and I flew and I flew. When I couldn't fly, I floated and sat. Perks of hollow bones. And I flew and I flew and I flew. And I saw it. It was beautiful. It's daunting. Didn't touch it. Heard bad things if you touch it. I didn't want to, so I didn't.
I touched it.
But when I knew I couldn't fly anymore, I knew that I couldn't go there alone. Who knows how much longer I'd be on shore, or on, like over until I'd find shore. So it's nice to meet you. I'm K-Unk.
It's nice to meet you.
Have you gotten to bed yet?
I was just
No.
gonna ask, are you guys in the main bunk? Like, not bunk, barracks?
No, she wandered you're in like a pseudo hallway area. At the very edge of the ship is a small porthole. So as you were making your way to the stairs that would head back up, this is when you kind of caught her just like staring out the porthole.
I don't. I just kind of went to the dining room and sat for a bit.
Well, I think I'm going to go get my bunk. She sets away. I hope that we can continue this conversation as the days go.
Yeah.
And
Scene.
yeah, that the as the night approaches, the first night on the shore.
Wait.
Yes.
So at first I'm like, I'm not gonna make eye contact with this dirty old man. But then after I put my stuff down, I get my bunk. I'm like, Mother would be so disappointed in me. She's always taught me to respect my elders. He looks lost.
I'm at a desk scribbling on
So
something.
I come over. Sir, do you have a bunk yet?
Yes, this desk. I plan on sitting here.
How about for resting, you can take the bunk beneath mine.
Okay, if I rest, yes. But this work, whoa, so much to do, so little time.
So I take like a bag of yours or something to like hold the bunk for you in case you sleep, and I'm just like, okay, if you need anything, I'm also new here. My name is Lith. Maybe we can figure it out together.
What do you know about metal men?
Absolutely nothing. What are metal men?
Men made out of metal.
How?
You build them. Here, look at these
You
notes.
built them?
Yes, look at these
Oh
notes.
God. Okay.
Roll a history.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. I hear a win.
You can make the outside practically anything you want. Wheels, hooks, stumps. One eye, too. It's the insides that, yeah.
Let's see how much I've heard about metal men. Ooh, 18 plus stuff. You said a history?
Yep.
That is 30-20.
Cool. So, from being from Nora, the thought of a metal man sounds outlandish. However, you guys have had like
Extensive.
tree ent type constructs that people have made. People have done like stone golems, earth golems. Like people have made things, but not specifically out of like metal.
So to me, I'm like, this is foreign, but I know the magic
Yeah, kind of.
is
A little bit.
potential. There's potential there.
Yeah.
So if someone can make a living rock figure, why not?
A living metal
Metal.
person.
I think I'm very engrossed. You can see a look of like, I'm not familiar with the magic that you're talking about, but
He doesn't acknowledge the look, and he just continues
just
talking
stares.
like you're the...
like I'm so engrossed.
Yes. Yes, my buddy Lampros, he is a pro at this, and I haven't been able to get in touch with him for a while, so I'm heading to go see him.
Oh, that's why you've hopped on the voyage
Yes.
at your age.
What's that supposed to mean?
Just that you are a very experienced gentleman, and
It's
this
just
is a
quick
long
boat
voyage.
ride. It's just a boat ride.
It's a pretty dangerous voyage. No one has came back.
What do you mean? People go to and from Illumia all the time.
No.
I was just there probably 100 or so years ago.
Well, that was 100 years ago, ever since 10 years ago. 10 years ago, we haven't been able to get any communication from Olympia, and no one has come back.
10 years? No, it hasn't been that long. I start looking at it. He did message me about 10 years ago.
So maybe that's what cut off your correspondence.
It could probably be nothing.
Or he died.
We go years without messaging each other anyway.
But that's good.
What's 10 years?
A significant chunk of some's lifespan. Well, I'm happy to meet your acquaintance, and let you know the current news.
Hearsay.
I guess, you know what, we will see. I have not seen the bubble specifically. There's supposedly a magic
No,
barrier.
you definitely do not know about the bubble.
There is no bubble. I walked right through it, no problem.
Okay. I'm taking your word for it. I have not. I will say when we approach it, I encourage you to go above deck so you can see yourself.
Oh, yes. Okay, fine.
I'm not of the arcane ability.
So, the night takes over as the first, sleep of the ship occurs.
Do you sleep?
No. I trance.
I trance for 4 hours.
Yeah, you trance for 4
I also
hours.
trance after my sit-ups and push-ups.
So,
Okay,
honestly, the next couple of days go by without a trace. I mean, you're still on the same Sloan Sea. You're traveling and traveling and traveling. People are hardy, and I mean, the more that time is passing, more people are kind of, their spirits are raising a little bit. You can hear the Goliaths on the other ship. They're like singing some song all in tandem as they're all like heaving and hoeing. You hear,
I picked the wrong ship.
yeah, they're all, they are...
I think this ship was for the less battle-hardy.
Speak for yourself. I can hold my own. I build metal men.
He does build metal land. So yeah, you hear them just working away. As the day kind of goes on, you notice, a couple of people just kind of milling about. You see the same tabaxi, some of the humans. You do see along the side there's a gentleman sitting on a bench, and he's just like carving away something on wood. But allow you guys to just kind of mill about, talk to who you want to talk to, and then we can kind of move on from there.
I'm still sitting at the desk scribbling in notebooks.
I see this old man every time, and I just I'm so confused about him. But I don't approach him. I just stare at him every time I walk past. And I don't stop. If he tries to talk to me, I just pretend like I don't hear him.
I continue to talk as she walks away. Yes, next time then.
Is there enough? How much space is between the bunks?
It's
enough for a desk.
It's slightly cramped, but not super crazy. It's actually pretty roomy.
Okay. Enough that I can do my morning stretches and start going through my sparring motions.
Yeah, so something that you do realize is that there's actually a lot of kind of empty spaces in the bunk. Almost like it was planned to have more people, but there's a little bit less. Not too much, but there's probably 10, 15 spaces free.
I give you a picture of Da Vinci's perfect man. This is how you should do your stretches.
I wasn't taught that. As she's so she's just going through her sparring, very fluid motions with her staff, and high kicks and blocks, all while he's talking.
Now see, that is a 97-degree angle.
I just know that I can block a sword this way.
It took me forever to
looks
figure
strong.
out how to construct an arm to move that way.
Yes, so at this point she would have taken her traveling cloak off, and her bedclothes are kind of like a nice linen cotton pants and tunic.
Oh my
and you can
gosh.
see she's not bulky, but she is wiry, like solid.
Ma'am, put clothes on. I can see your shoulders.
Your ankles are up. He says that, and she's like,
This is proper
Ankles.
training attire. As I'm like moving.
Oh, the women dress these days.
I'm sorry that I'm not up to par to your standards.
I realized I didn't describe what my character looks like. She's
What
got-
do we see?
She's got long black hair that's braided and like long pigtails that come down to about like her waist.
Ooh.
And she's wearing just like nice black like leather under her
Choker.
Pleather?
Yeah, she does have a choker. She's got this is real leather.
Sticky.
This is real. I killed the cow for this and everything.
My husband paid for it.
Ow.
And she's got like a collar that kind of like comes up and like is like a point. I've got a picture.
She looks fancy.
Show the class. Show the class.
Yeah.
You say that like you haven't already seen the picture. Have you seen the picture?
I have.
I have.
I don't think I have.
Sorry,
I can kind of see it
Apple-
from here.
Fucked with everything, so.
I haven't made character art for mine yet, so.
You suck.
Anyway,
I had Michael do mine.
I also kind of messed up the description. Her skin, it's not necessarily a tan, but it's like a golden orange.
Well, I will
Because
say-
Eladrin are aligned to the seasons.
You will get to say. Basically, you'll be able to get your character description exactly right how you want to when everyone gets here as well.
Okay. Oh, wow.
so
Nice.
very thin, very like low cut, very like
Classy.
fancy.
Also, kind of looks dangerous.
Yeah.
Think of mine as like a skinny elf Santa Claus.
I love it. I love it. If Santa Claus was on Weight Watchers.
Yeah, right.
And an elf.
Yes, completely white beard.
He himself is also.
White hair.
I think I'd be sticking kind of close, not talking to you guys, and I'm making it painfully obvious that I'm sticking close. But she's got muscles. If worse comes to worse, she could help.
If worse comes to worse, she could defend me.
If needed. If I looked like the victim, because she looks nice. If I looked like the victim, she'd help me.
You see that, like, this older gentleman continues to talk to her, and she just cannot walk away from it. So as he's talking, that's when she, like, took her, like, travel cloak off, and she's starting to do her sparring and her stretching, because she's like, I can't break conversation because that'd be rude, but I need to do something productive.
She seems very nice, very well-mannered, so she's like, I'm going to stick close to that one.
Ah, yes, only the best people can work and talk at the same time.
All right, so yeah, you guys are kind of sitting in your bunks. You do see a half orc, a younger half orc gentleman, kind of goes over to his bunk and he kind of grabs some of his clothing and he's got some weapons under there and all that, and he notices you like stretching and fighting, and you're just like, oh, nice, good fighting.
Thanks. Do you want to spar?
Yeah, I think it'd be good practice.
Blow off some steam?
Sure.
I kind of like scooch. There's like maybe some sitting chairs, and I scooch them to the side to like make more room.
All right. Just roll athletics. We'll just do a simple. Oh, well, that's really funny.
I give him a picture of the perfect man.
17.
Stretch more.
Perfect. So he goes in, like you guys are starting to fight. He doesn't know what kind of fighting style that you're going to be doing. You look at him and he's kind of doing like a stereotypical like wrestling style.
Okay.
And he's gonna go in trying to grab at your leg, and you immediately swipe underneath, and he just plummets down, and you just kind of like get back on top of him and hold his arm back.
Well, this isn't very fair because I used my staff. I can put the staff down.
No, it's okay.
I have also practiced breaking out of holds. If you would like to do that kind of sparring, as I'm like pinning his arm behind
he's
him.
Like, yeah, no, it's fine. I need to. I'm trying to follow in my dad's footsteps. Man, I'm nothing like him. And he's like gonna try to shrug you off, but he can't even like. If you can see that he's trying to shrug you off, do you let him go?
Yes.
Or okay, because yeah, he like.
Your father, is he a renowned warrior?
It was. And they sent him to Illumia in one of the first battalions, and I haven't heard back from him.
Well, then he's in Illumia and we'll find him.
Yeah, I guess if I can't fight like he can, then what's the point?
Yes.
But
Illumia.
you are not him. You are yourself.
Sure.
I get it. I have parents that have done great deeds, but we are not defined by our parents' deeds.
Sure. I'm gonna...
Also, and I start giving him pointers like, okay, so you should have done this to get out of that hold, and also stretch. You're really stiff.
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
You're gonna pull something.
will too. Also, Dev, it's nice to meet you.
Liz.
Well, I'm gonna...
Well, Lysandra, but my friends call me Liz, so you can call me Liz.
All right. You see like a smile appear across his face. I kind of worked up a sweat there. I'm gonna go get some food.
Already?
Oh, I haven't eaten yet today.
Okay. You know what? Food is fuel. Mm-hmm. So I turn back to you as you're like showing me another diagram.
The pin is mightier than the sword.
That's true. I think there's strength in both ways.
Ah, yes. I remember back in my younger days.
Did you hold a sword?
Several.
And I listen to like
I was waiting for more, and then he just stops.
Nope.
several.
And then he just goes, and then he's flashed back into his own mind.
As
like
I'm
some-
waiting for him to
Falls
finish
into a
the story.
trance.
I like sometimes he just doesn't stop talking, and then other times he's like about to start a story, and he
And
just
then
stops.
just doesn't finish it.
That's funny.
He finishes it in his head.
In his head, yeah. So, as the night kind of progresses more, you're on probably day 10. The days are kind of going by pretty quickly. You haven't reached the bubble yet. Waters have seemed pretty calm.
He's convinced there's no bubble. I'm
he's
trying
convinced-
to convince him there's a bubble.
They, this night on the deck, everyone seems to be throwing somewhat of a party. As the captain says that they are hopefully a couple days away from reaching that area.
Celebrate the last
bubble.
leg of the journey.
Yes. So you see a young human man. He's got at this point in time, he's got a nice scruffy beard. He hasn't shaved in the last 10 days or so. But he's playing the accordion. We got a wood elf. They are playing the flute. Everyone's kind of like singing and dancing. You can hear once again the Goliaths are kind of singing on their end. They're drinking beer. Like you can see one of them like attempts to throw a barrel of ale from their ship to your ship, and it just hits the side and crashes into the ocean. But you're just like, you hear them. They're singing their songs. It's a very catchy tune. You kind of keep it in your head. It's not one that you've heard before, but you hear them working. I'm not going to sing it, I'm sorry, but heave ho, to Illumia we go, with the light in our eyes and the fire in our souls. Heave ho, for a venture awaits, past the stars' endless glow, may the gods know our fates. You hear that song echo through the night as a bunch of men are singing that. The people on your ship are just having a great time. You know, ale's a flying. They're kind of going through their stash. You don't know how many more days are left on the journey. You do see, out of all of this like fun that's happening, you see the aquatic elf standing on the bow with her staff or her trident in hand, just kind of staring off into the night.
Are people dancing?
Yep.
I go up to Nico. Do you dance?
Yes, my lady.
And I take him and do just a basic little twirl.
I do elegant ballroom dance.
Oh,
Ooh.
I'm light on my feet.
I step
Ooh.
right in with him. My dance lessons kick in, and
I've been dancing for hundreds of years.
I
It's
can
like a bike.
tell you're even better than my mentor.
It's all science.
After we finish a dance, are you there?
Scary lady.
Maybe.
I would say so. When all of this is happening, obviously there's a lot of joyous happening.
Yeah.
You do see the somberness of the aquatic elf, but you do also see a gentleman off to the side. He's just kind of elbows on the bow, just staring off into the ocean. While everyone else is singing and dancing, he kind of seems not exactly like in your situation, but you feel a presence of just sorrow.
Yeah. I don't go stand next to him, but I kind of do the same thing. I don't want to be at the party. There's too much happiness at the party. I'm goth. I don't like being happy.
Are you far away from the dance floor then?
Probably.
Okay.
Oh, look at that scary lady that always stands by us but doesn't say anything.
Yeah, you're standing like 10 feet away from him. He doesn't
Does
like.
look kind of sad. Should I ask her to dance?
I mean, you can, but she'll probably say no.
That's
and
okay.
may or may not bite you.
Wait, is that... Why would she bite me?
The last time I'd seen people dressed like that, they weren't people.
They weren't people?
No, they bit you on your neck.
Blah blah blah.
Well, I can defend myself.
I ain't seen one of them in hundreds of years.
Okay. What should I do if she tries to bite my neck?
Scream.
Okay. So, like, I was confident, but now I'm a little shaky, and I'll just... It always makes me feel better to dance out my feelings.
I was gonna say, so the gentleman, he's like 10 feet away from you. Not once does he like ever look your way.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's fine.
But I just wanted to kind of mention that part. So yeah, do you go over to him or her? Because they're both kind of.
Her,
Sulking.
because I've seen her lingering around us and not engaging, and I'm like, dancing makes me feel better.
You notice the man that's leaning is the guy who is writing the letters.
I'll walk up to him.
Miss, can I trouble you for a dance? She looks nervous.
She keeps grabbing her neck.
She's like,
Collar up.
you're like, can I have a dance? And I go, I'm married.
I didn't propose. It was just a dance. If you don't dance, that's fine. No need to like bite my head off figuratively.
What does that mean?
I'm not sure. She kind of like takes her hand back and she's just standing there. You don't dance?
I don't dance anymore.
Well, if you do dance, I will be over there dancing.
You can dance if you want to. You can leave your friends behind.
And you see, she's a little crestfallen, but like, okay, have a good night.
Yeah, you too.
Is Nico still on the dance floor?
I'm walking my way over to Sad Letter Guy.
I see Nico coming, and then I'm like, actually, on second thought.
To me?
Yeah, she's like, I'll go over there.
Away from these guys.
I wouldn't pressure you. I mean,
I don't really have to dance, right?
no. You don't have to dance.
Okay.
I plan on dancing, but you don't have to dance.
He just talks a lot.
He does. Oh my gosh, yes, he does. So I act like I'm escorting you, like you said yes to a dance, so we don't have to talk to him. I give you like a thumbs up, so you think it's going good.
Oh, my boy. What are you doing over here so alone?
I haven't really wanted to dance. I'm nervous.
Since the war.
About dancing?
Just about.
Aaron hates dancing.
All of this.
apparently.
It's a lot, isn't it?
No, not really. It's a simple boat ride.
I guess it's the unknown. That I'm more
You've never been to Illumia, my boy.
because I don't know what's going on there.
I mean, I was there once, and it's a great city. Before your time, though, my boy.
Probably. I need a drink.
Well, are you gonna go get us the drink then, my boy?
Yeah. Right. And he's gonna walk over, and they have like a makeshift like bar top, and he's gonna get a drink, and he just kind of like tells you to come over because he finds himself next to another human male, and there's also a high elf that he's sitting next to.
So rude.
I hobble my way over there.
Yeah. He's like, well, let's drink the night away.
Aye, aye, my boy. To the knowing unknown.
To the knowing unknown. Takes a big sip, and the night kind of is just a marvelous little toast of excitement, fun. The nervousness kind of goes away as the night kind of fades off with music and partying.
I was so nervous and gloom.
It's a party.
It's a simple boat ride.
So
People act like they never rode a boat.
I told you it's dangerous, Nico.
a couple
The
days
bubble exists.
a couple days pass until finally
X-Facts.
The bubble?
you hear the aquatic elf just ahead, and then the ships slowly start to stop just a little bit as you can see. You take a look and you're like, I don't see anything. Then right as the sun bounces off the water and back up, you see just a slight shimmer effect. Yeah, it's right ahead, 100 feet. Let's take this slow. To the point of no return, huh? And you,
Nico, hurry!
as
We're gonna do it!
as they're all kind of stopping, everyone kind of starts rushing up deck,
Yeah.
and they're all like, "Whoa!" And then you just see Paku's fist go, "Whoa!" And they just steam right ahead into the bubble. It hits.
Do I get Nico on up?
Yeah.
Up top?
The
Okay.
Illumia's reprieve is stopped. Paco's fist
Just like
just goes burn and just goes through. You see it
we
hit the
see
bubble, and you can still see them. They
Okay.
it kind of like the instant the front touched it, it just blips and the entire thing is in. And you see that they all kind of like are rocky, and then they turn, and you see like some of them go,
we see him like
"Ah!" But you can't hear them. So it started like, think about it, like they're like, and it just stops. You just hear them celebrating, and then the instant they hit it, nothing. And then you see the aquatic elf. She's okay. Send forth the turtleback jack, and then you can see the turtleback jack go forward, slips through, hits it, pops through. All right, everybody, no turning back now. And the ship slowly makes its ascent. Everybody's like kind of in awe. They're all like excited. There's some people that, stayed below deck, but you see most of the human males, you've learned their name through, there was Mikey, he's the one that was playing the accordion. Peter is the one that was carving the little fish. And then Blaine, he's the kind of the more like sad guy with the writing.
Call everybody my boy or Sonny or
Yep.
chap.
Those three were all like standing up there, as well as basically everybody except for the Aarakocra. The Aarakocra is actually staring through the back port. I don't know if you want to be with her or if you're somewhere else, but that's just...
Probably at a different port.
That's totally fair. So yeah, everyone kind of holds on with excitement as you approach and you approach and you approach.
Do you sense anything, Nico?
What do I pick up from this bubble?
You feel a huge magical presence, but it's so weird because you're thinking back, you're like, is this archaic? Is this what type of magic is this? It feels so strong. To the people that don't really sense magic, they don't feel anything. But like with you trying to dive a little deeper into it, you're like, it almost hurts how like presence the magic is.
Les, this is no bubble. This is some magic force of some kind.
So the bubble is magic.
Well, it's not a bubble, but yes. Bubbles, you blow them and they pop.
Well, yes, but it's like bubble shaped, is it not?
Oh, yes, I agree.
Oh.
It is spherical.
It's spherical. I like the bubble.
So yeah, you reach forth, and that star that was shining on the front bow of the ship touches the outside of the bubble, and boom, you all shunt through. It feels weird because like it happens just so quickly.
Oh, my back.
And all of the sounds, I mean, it still sounds the same. Everything sounds the same. The instant you turn back and look, you don't see the ocean where you came from. It's like this weird ellipsing prism that you kind of look into, and it's not darkness. It's not necessarily light. It's just a void. A void with the speckles of color kind of sinking off into the distance. It almost looks like there's nothing past it. You're looking at the bubble itself. Everything past is you can't tell.
Oh, this is new.
But as you peer through, you see this ginormous ripple of all this light, and then it goes away. And you can't see anything past it, but you can see everything going forward.
So we can't, like the wall, we can only see the wall?
Yep.
Oh.
But it's like a very dim, like, glow at this point. It's like it's almost see-through, but you can't see through it.
So it's like opaque, kind of like...
Yes. It's like a sheery glimmer.
Okay.
I bet my buddy Lambros invented this.
Why would he want to close off Illumia?
He was always a very closed-off individual.
So he closed off an entire continent for his own privacy.
Oh, that would be my dream, too.
Well, I think we need to talk to your friend.
Just imagine a whole workshop as a country.
That's cool and all, but you can't block off an entire continent for everyone else.
Well, we were able to get in.
Yep. But no one's been able to get out.
Oh, blasphemy.
You can see like a lot of the crew is like, whoa, that was awesome. You hear like, wow, let's go, and then like you see a couple of them like the realness has really set in, and there's several of the deck hands that just kind of like sit down, and they're like, well, some are praying, some are cheering. You guys set forth, and it's weird. There's such a stillness to the water. There's wind, but it's not as prominent as the wind before. It's just, everything feels slightly odd. You can look up in the sky and you still see the sun shining bright. You can see the sky. Okay, so you can see through some of the bubble. Is the bubble all the way up there? Could we fly out? There's a lot of questions that you start asking. And as you venture forth, you're probably a half mile away from where the bubble initially was. You look back to where you saw the entrance, and you see nothing but sea. Does it stretch on forever? Is it a reflection? I don't know. There's a lot of questions you're asking yourself. The days feel like they're growing shorter. You've been on the ocean for almost a good 30 days now. You're hit the bubble. How much longer do you have left? It's a nighttime. Who's on deck? Is there anybody on deck?
No.
I think I'd probably be on deck.
You're on deck?
Yeah. Ever since we passed through the bubble, she's like looser.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you're away from all of your troubles. Are you both sleeping, I take it?
I passed out at my desk.
Is there anything going on the ship?
Not really.
It's like a cruise ship.
Like,
Where's the party at?
What's the activities?
Right
Are
now,
the hot tubs full?
a lot of people are resting up right now.
They're what?
Resting up right now.
Resting?
Because they don't know what is going to come when they find land. So a lot of people are getting ready for, like, anything.
I think I would probably either be doing my afternoon/evening sparring and stretches or journaling.
I'm going to
So
say
I'd be down below.
right about now it's about 9 p.m. So
9
it's-
p.m.
Yep.
So I'm getting ready for bed.
Okay. So out on the deck, can I have you roll me a perception?
Use your passive.
This is why I don't drink water,
1.
Krista. Water and Red Bull.
So
You're gonna get a kidney stone.
Well, I'm not anymore.
So you're looking off into like the vast ocean. Man, that's a lot of water. You see,
I think at this point she's like, "What if I just jumped off?"
you kind of are. Well, you are thinking that, like genuinely, in your mind, you're thinking, "What have I gotten myself into? Why not just jump off? What am I doing?"
Yeah.
When you look, even with a 1, like this, is this vision or is this something you need to see? You look off into the ocean and you see a rowboat. A small rowboat. As you're trying to get your eyes to adjust to the darkness, you can see a figure. It's kind of just a blob at this point. It's so far off in the distance. But you see a little glow coming from the boat. As you're trying to adjust your eyes and trying to get everything situated, you blink and it's gone. Interesting.
I'm seeing shit. I haven't been sleeping well.
I'm going to wait till she gets back.
Or not.
So yeah, with that, the only other person on the deck right now is the aquatic elf. She comes walking over to you and you're a quiet one.
Yeah.
It's been all this time and I don't think I've introduced myself to you. I'm first mate Koa. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
You running from something or you got adventures in front of you?
Bit of both.
Yeah. I fear I'm running right into the belly of the beast. But my family's from here. Moonrock. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
No, you haven't. Well, it's a quaint little island. A lot of my family's from there. I was stationed out in Styark for a while. And never thought I'd find my home in there. Captain Monroe gave me a shot. So, with my knowledge of the waters around here, I'm his first mate.
Congrats.
Thank you.
And hopefully his last.
I think I just kind of go into like a thought about to say it, and then I'm like, I'm not gonna say it. Like, and it's like visible, like she can see, like she was
Yeah.
about to say something, and
Well, we're no strangers. What's up? What's on your mind?
just be careful who you trust. You never know when your boss could just suddenly want you dead.
I almost fear that Monroe wants us all dead going into this, but it's a volunteer trip. We go here because we want to go here.
Yep.
For the worst or the best.
Death was waiting for me back there, so whatever's here might be better.
It's probably better.
Maybe.
We can hope. You guys just kind of
Are we breaking for lunch?
here in a moment, yeah.
Okay.
We'll finish this night, take a break, and then
Come back.
come back.
Okay.
So yeah, you guys just kind of stare off, enjoy that moment, and head back down deck to hit the hay.